All right, it is Tuesday night in Tooney Town, and that can only mean one thing. It is time for the fastest rising pro wrestling live stream podcast on the internet today. It is time for Tooney Talk Wrestling. Folks, my name is Marvin, and I'm the Movie Monster, and I am thrilled to welcome you all back for another fun-filled week of wrestling hijinks. Maybe not as fun this week as some other weeks, because we do have some somber things to talk about, but there will be some fun here, folks. There always is. We always have some laughs. We always manage to, find ways to not take the wrestling news cycle, so seriously that we get offended by every little thing. And, I can't do it by myself. I need my all-star team here with me, and we can only kick it off in one way. Hello, Kevin Apollo.
My Meng, what's going on?
Oh my goodness! I mean, you know what? If I've been having a bad week, the Tony Khan, the AEW Family Guy thing made me so I laughed. It's the hardest I've laughed at Family Guy in a long time, because they put this over like, oh, it's the AEW Family Guy collab, and it was less than nothing.
I watched the clip and I'm like, I don't. What?
Yeah, well, but we'll get there. We'll get there. First, we got to bring up the rest of our panel. First of all, from his brand new YouTube channel, which is doing fantastic, the one and only Awful Wrestling.
Hey everybody, what's happening? What's going on?
Don't sound too excited.
No, I actually am excited. We were just talking before the show started how Colt Cabana was raving about his appearance on Family Guy.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, if you're Colt Cabana, you don't have much to get excited with about being on TV anymore. So
right.
Oh my!
I'm just saying, when's the last time AEW did anything with him?
Oh, I don't know.
They're doing stuff with him right now. It's all behind the scenes. It all has to do with fabric and ink.
Well, guys, and also straight from the crowd at Backlash is the one and only AEW Disciplinary Committee, aka Dis.
Yo, how's it going, everybody? Awful lost his intro too. Awful.
Love it.
Well, they both get flagged. I have to rework them.
The appearance and everything. Yeah, come on. Who was that guy? We talk about.
I just cost myself money.
You see that guy?
I am
see that guy hiding under the Eiffel Tower in France.
Oh.
He's the guy that is renting a 8-bedroom mansion on Craigslist for only $500 a month.
Right.
He's getting lonely men to buy him Razor gift cards by telling him that he's a famous online streamer who wants to date them. That's what he's doing.
Seriously.
Oh no.
We could go all night with this.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Well, you know what? I want to start off, of course. Well, we got to start off with our wonderful audience. So, guys, as you guys all know, this is a show that is made for you and financed by you. We rely on your generous super chats to keep the lights on around here, and we will always take breaks in between stories to read your super chats aloud, give you guys center stage the way it is deserved. We do break for $50 or more. So if you send in a super chat that is $50 or more, we will stop what we are doing and we will talk right about what you want to talk about. So let's see what we've got going on today. Andre Adams checking in for $9.99 says Ricochet has definitely proven that even with money and a fine ass wife, you just can't unlame a lame.
Yeah.
Okay, that is 100% accurate, because my God, you know what? People like to try to say, oh, he's just being a heel, he's just trying to get heel heat. I'm like, no, because he's attacking WWE, which is the thing that would make him a babyface to the AEW fans.
Yeah, and did you? We didn't cover, or I don't know. You guys might have covered it last week because I wasn't here. Did you guys cover the Samantha
no
music video on YouTube that got like 8,000? Kev knows where I'm going.
Yeah. No, what happened?
So Samantha made her big music debut on YouTube.
How'd that go?
In the first week, I think it got like 8,000 views. Yeah, and then she went. She went on to blame the haters.
The haters.
The haters reported her apparently, and got her.
Wouldn't the haters watch it to give her mean comments? Just sounds like nobody was in. Just sounds like a lack of interest, not haters.
Here's the funny thing. So she said the haters were reporting it, and that got shadow
reporting it for what?
And it wouldn't show up in the algorithm. Here's the problem, though. A couple days after she said that, the Spotify numbers came out, and they were pretty much exactly the same as the YouTube numbers.
That's not how the algorithm works.
That's how it works in her mind. The haters reported it, and she was shadow banned.
What was the video before her music video? How many hits did that get?
She only had
none,
one
because yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like she just opened up her YouTube video or her YouTube channel. What makes her think that just because her name is Samantha Urban, tens of thousands of people are going to want to listen to her music? Such delusion.
Because when she was a WWE employee, Samantha, that's what would have happened.
Yeah. If she would have plugged her YouTube channel, definitely.
Well, let's be real. If she had put out a music single while she was working for WWE, they'd have mentioned it on the air. Michael Cole would have given it a mention, and it would have, gotten hundreds of thousands of views probably. But it's been proven now she'll be in AEW within the next 3 months, I think, or 6 months at least.
Or
because
pregnant.
I
mean,
or both.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
Send her out there. Why not?
Tony will let you wrestle no matter what.
Yeah.
One of my
it's right there in the thumbnail with Joe Swanson.
One of the only times I heard anybody mention AEW at Backlash this weekend was somebody asking where Samantha was. And they told them that she was they go, I think she's in AEW or something. I don't know, who cares? It was very dismissive and yeah. So
Ricochet lives in Ricochet because, and we'll get into some more about that, because my new favorite wrestler gave him the business earlier this week. So. Regina shop for $5 says no bit tonight. R.I.P. Sabu. You were insane, but we loved it absolutely, and we're gonna talk a bit about Sabu. Coming up here after we get through the opening festivities a bit, and Ewan Cumia. He will do the bit. He says, Glom Gold, Glom Gold, Glom Gold, Glom Gold will be Cena's next opponent. But no, apparently it's going to be Truth.
Yeah.
We're getting it at Saturday night's main event.
We but in our binge watching of DuckTales, we just hit the first good Glom Gold episode. It was the one where him and Scrooge had a staring contest.
Oh.
For like half the episode.
Oh my gosh, wait till you get to the golf episode. That one's my favorite, where they have a golf, basically they have a magical golf game against each other with the with the My Little Ponies are trying to drown them the whole time.
Oh, okay.
And they're Kelpies, but they're actually voiced by Tara Strong and the other lady who does the voices in My Little Pony. So
you got to move on before Awful quits. Yeah, we got.
In the words of CM Punk,
Awful has his finger over hang up right now as we're talking.
Liquid Fox for $2 Canadian says soon the betrayer will be betrayed. $2.19, I think. Liquid Fox believes he has a debt to pay, and he is paying it down. So. Andre Adams for $4.99 says random thought: the highest paid woman in wrestling is a bathroom break for an ice cold product. Well, yeah, that's because Tony's an idiot. Apparently though, Mercedes did drop the strong women's title without being pinned.
Yeah.
Oh boy, did she ever!
AKA New Japan wanted its belt back, and so she had to give it up. And of course, the only way to do that was to have it be a 3-way in which she does not get pinned.
So. Easy, brother.
If you saw the video, reaction was priceless too. Dropped 5 cents on the ground. She didn't give one F.
No, it was the most ham-fisted. First, she goes from being absolutely totally ambivalent to what's happening,
Yeah.
And then when the number 3 gets yelled, it turns to the most dramatic piece of fiction ever told, right back to immediate ambivalence.
Yep, she's something else. Zach K for $4.99 says Neckbeard's post comparing Will Ospreay's promo to South Park's parody of Phil Collins was scary accurate. Didn't see that one, but I will definitely. By the way, big shout out AEW Neckbeard's wise man of this podcast. We love you, buddy. Thanks for keeping everybody company out in the chat there tonight. Mod extraordinaire. Blazing Bolts for $5 says, "What's up, guys? Hope all is well with you. 100% hashtag Tooneytown." Well, good to see you too, Blazing Bolts. Glad to have you here for another week. John Williams for $4.99 says, "Wow, Lois, this reminds me of the time I did cocaine with Shahid Khan's son in a sock puppet." Oh, that's amazing. Rabbit Wolverines LC Killer 17 for $2 says Sabu will be missed, and absolutely he will. Redisaurus for $2 says, "At this point, John Cena should just retire as champ." I don't agree with that. I think somebody does have to ultimately beat him, and I'm pretty sure John Cena will insist that happen. If they were,
brother, no one can beat me. That guy's fat. I'm retiring as champ.
Look at him. He's not tan.
He's not tan. Mamacita!
Oh my gosh. XYZ Noon for $5 says, "This is worse than the time we let Boss Man dog sit Brian."
Oh no.
Oh, Pepper.
Keep those coming. I love Family Guy gags like that.
The big Boss Man was the most heinous heel of the 90s by far and away.
Yes, can we spend time talking about this? Because,
yes.
Because after he was hung at WrestleMania, and one of the most spectacular things I have ever seen, I don't care what anybody says about that. When they put that man back on TV, he was an unholy terror.
From dragging away the Big Show's father's casket at the funeral to killing Al Snow's dog and feeding it to him. I mean, my goodness.
That whole bastard's dead, and he ain't never coming back. Oh.
When he got Big Show's mother to admit that he was illegitimate, he's like, "You hear that, Big Show? You're a nasty bastard, and your mama said so."
You're a big nasty bastard. Hey, Al, would you like that with some pepper?
Oh,
it's
man.
apparently inspired by a true story.
Mr.
Yes.
Fuji, right?
Mr. Fuji.
Yes.
Andre Adams for $1.99 says Ospreay speak like he got a mouthful of butter.
Oh.
He kind of does. My grandfather would have said marbles in his mouth. All right, guys. Time to Dis. I would like for you to regale us with some tales from Backlash, because as we all know, you were at Backlash this past weekend. You were there in the crowd, doing your best to cheer and go nuts and participate. So I would love to hear what it was like for you and all of the other people that were there.
I was. And first off, I want to give a shout out to that St. Louis crowd. I have been to plenty of shows in St. Louis, and I've always hated St. Louis crowds. I thought St. Louis was always the town that, even no matter how late into the aughts it was, we're going to keep chanting "what" after everything everyone said. People were in the cheap seats just yelling "Taker" the whole time, that kind of stuff. But no, they were on fire on Saturday night, and I really appreciated it. Kind of actually seemed like the upper decks were kind of more on fire than the lower decks a little bit. I think that might.
That's how it always is. Yeah.
Well, creatures.
It's not how you. Well, St. Louis in the upper decks, that's where all the drunk people were, and they were, kind of just like out of it most of the time. But it was a really cool show. It smelled like pot all over the place. I got to
get out of here
guy just from being in the arena. It was insane how much pot was being smoked.
Rob Van Dam in attendance?
No, but I mean, might as well have been. That's there's something you're gonna have to deal with now that it's just like beer. So, but yeah, it smelled like that and like weird roasted chicken. I did have a guy next to me who warned me as soon as I walked in. As soon as he sat down, he goes, "Just to let you know, I just had surgery and I'm on a bunch of pain meds, so I might fall asleep on you."
Great.
And then he proceeded to chug a beer. So that was wonderful.
On pain meds. You were sitting with the real men, Dis.
Right. And his kid was yelling the not the F word, but the F slur the entire show.
Oh,
so that was good.
Fun.
That was good. His kid was like 9, younger than Matt.
Yeah. Great.
So that was
You're like, this was the greatest crowd ever. They were chanting slurs and drinking on drugs.
The kid next to me. Healing. The people next to me were in that. Most of the crowd was very good. I was surprised by how many people knew who Jeff Cobb were. That was
Jeff Cobb were?
They was sorry.
Yeah. You used the plural of the people for the singular of Jeff Cobb.
Leave me alone. I'm dealing with 3 things at once.
But the best gag of the whole live stream that we did the other day with me, Mish, and Kev was during the national anthem. I was like, oh my God, guys, look, Dis is kneeling down. And we did like 5 minutes on that.
I interfered in the Intercontinental match.
Everybody was saying that in the chat.
So I do have a few questions about watching it live because I have not watched it yet. So did the Orton pop come through as huge as it was in person?
It was pretty big.
Because that I've been to plenty of St. Louis shows where Randy Orton was on the card. I have never heard people react like this to Randy Orton. And I think that main event might have been John Cena and Randy Orton's best match. And maybe
it was so good. It was a masterclass.
They've never been known for having great matches together. There's never been a classic John Cena, Randy Orton match. Everyone loves the feud, but and that match was just fantastic. The crowd ate it up. Did you? When Orton put Cena through the table, or tried to put him through the table and didn't, right? Was it caught on camera that Cena broke the table on purpose afterwards? Did they make that clear? Okay, that's such a good little bit of storytelling that I was mad that they didn't show. Yeah, like he put his arm out and he put the table down and they looked out of the crowd like, I'm taking that away, because they were chanting one more time or break, tables, that kind of thing. They wanted the table broken.
Oh, okay.
And he wouldn't let it. He took that away from him. But yeah, so a lot of things like that. Also, did you get to see what John Cena did after the show?
I did not, because I turned it off when we were done. My voice hurt.
He gave a little. Yeah, go ahead, Dis. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. He there seemed like a little regret, right? Like, but they gave.
What am I doing?
Yeah, what am I doing here? What's going on? And he gave. It was a very interesting way to give the St. Louis crowd their goodbye. Right, like because the crowd was very anti-Cena. Like I don't know if it came across as much on TV, but it was very, very pro Orton. And after the show, when he kind of stood there and looked around and he did the whole old taking in the moment thing, the crowd really got behind him and started cheering for him. And it was just this really cool, like, I'm giving you a send off. It was more for St. Louis than Cena. Right, it was St. Louis's opportunity to say goodbye to John Cena, and it was
as he slowly walked to the back.
Yeah, I thought it was a great show overall. Probably the best show I've been to in the better part of a decade.
Now, my question is: was this Max's first pay-per-view?
Yes.
Nice. So how did he like it?
Loved it. His favorite part, oddly enough, though, was like sitting between me and my friends and hearing us talk about wrestling. And because I thought
wait, you have friends that aren't us?
Yeah, I have my old podcast buddies, the guys I used to do the podcast with. Yeah.
Wow.
One of them I've known.
What are their names so we can have war with them?
Oh yeah, the Samoans, right?
Yeah, one One of them I've known since I was in 6th grade, actually. But I didn't think about that. I thought he was going to be bored, but it turns out, just like me, hanging out with your dad and his friends when you're 11-year-old makes you feel really, really cool. So he enjoyed that. Also, Undertaker was getting high in a bathroom. Everyone should know that.
What? How did you not lead with this?
Man token.
During the I missed half of the Lyra Valkyria and Becky
You
Lynch
didn't miss
match
much
because I was waiting for the bathroom and I couldn't get in because the Undertaker or a man dressed like the Undertaker was vaping marijuana in the bathroom stall and wouldn't come out. He wouldn't even. It was awful too because he wasn't even like pretending like he was going to the bath. He was just like pacing around the stall while you could see smoke coming.
I was about to say, how did you confuse awful with the Undertaker? So it wasn't actually the Undertaker. It was a guy dressed like the Undertaker.
Yeah. Which there were
about. That's not how you started this story, Screen Rant.
Right.
I know it's funnier when I do it. I know
Clickbait.
Gonna change your name to Inside the Magic.
Okay, Mister, change your thumbnail to something we're going to talk about for 4 minutes.
Show's over, folks. We'll see you later.
All right.
Hey, you got to go with the punches here. You know, you got to.
Hey, we're gonna talk a lot about that Family Guy thing.
I'll make sure of it.
Yeah, now I'm gonna start a stopwatch.
Talk to a guy with ODD.
But it was a great show. It was a good experience. Max had a great time. We went to the Arch afterwards, the next day. So enjoyed
McDonald's.
it. Of course we go to McDonald's, but no, the actual Gateway.
I thought you just called McDonald's the Arch.
That's the Arches. Sometimes I get.
Well, I don't know. You're having a hard time with trolls tonight.
I made that joke too. Yeah, we're good. We're on the same page.
Well, then I'm having a bad night.
Yeah, right.
Did you get any merch while you were there?
The John Cena shirt.
All right. How much did the John Cena shirt cost?
$40.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
Not home.
oh.
$40 for
Highway
John
robbery. Was it like a last time is now John Cena?
It was a St. Louis John Cena shirt.
Okay.
After this, you can't
Limited
see
edition.
me. Limited edition.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Okay. All right. Cool.
So
Did Max get the shirt or did you
Yes.
both buy a shirt? Okay.
No, I got it from Max. I got him a men's large because he's about to go through a growth spurt. So it'll probably fit for the next 6 months or so, and then he's going to hang it on his wall afterwards. So
Nice. This being the Grace Randolph of Tooney Talk Wrestling overselling his Taker story.
Yeah, really.
Gotcha. I hooked him in.
In this week's Taker Math.
I'm trying to think. You know what? Though we didn't. There was no like. I didn't get to see Omos walking around. There weren't. Everything was pretty locked down at the show. You didn't get a lot of.
That was what you were hoping to see Omos walking around?
We did it. We did
You went there being like, God, I hope tonight I see Omos walking around.
The first time I took Max to a wrestling show, it was a Raw 2 years ago. And the first thing he saw when he walked in was Omos walking around with no security, but a gang of fans.
Why would that man need security?
I know.
But the most pointless security known to man.
He was going nowhere. All he was doing was showing how big he was to everybody.
Walk out there, show them how big you are, you freak.
Yeah, really.
Get out there, freak boy.
Well, it's what
a giant.
It's what Vince used to do.
Show him you're a giant.
It's what Vince used to do with Andre.
I'm not putting you on the show tonight, so this is the only way you get noticed.
What
was your favorite match, Dis? What was the match you enjoyed the most?
It was Orton Cena.
Okay.
Don't do. There's nothing before. Like there was no dark matches. There were nothing like that. It just went straight into the show. We got the 5 matches that were advertised. Oh, I should tell you this guy. I don't know. They sold every seat in that arena. My one of my buddies who was gonna go with us and couldn't because he couldn't get seats. when he went to buy tickets, all that was left was standing room only, which they were selling by the behind the stage. There was an area where there's like a little balcony off the concession stand, and you could buy tickets there. Seats behind the stage were sold. Seats, the hard cam side, awful. This is for you. Mm-hmm. The hard cam side was regulated to about a section of 50 seats taped off, and those were the only seats in the arena that weren't sold.
Wow.
And it was on the upper level. They put the hard cam on the upper level for this show. They sold every seat in that building that they could. If they could have brought in more seats, they would have. You couldn't walk on the floor. It was so full. Like, I couldn't believe how many people were there.
Wow.
That sounds like a miserable experience being in a standing room only at a wrestling show.
I could imagine. Luckily,
I can't even imagine how bad that must have been.
It can't be that bad. Oh
I
boy.
can feel Marv's eggs.
Oh,
yeah, Marv, you would have hated this.
I would have turned. It's being in one of these crowds, man. It is like the worst possible place you go. The only place that I want to go to less than a packed wrestling show is India.
What about now? You would go to a wrestling
coming out. See you next week.
What? Look, I have no problem with the place. I just don't want to go there. It's hot and it's crowded for the same reasons I don't want to go to a wrestling show.
Would you go to a wrestling show in India if Scott Steiner was there and he did what he did when he was in India before?
Oh,
what did he do in India before?
You never saw Scott Steiner chasing the crowd running away from him like he was Godzilla?
What?
In India? Oh my God, you've never seen this?
I've
Pull it up, neckbeards.
Oh my God. I got it. Kev, you want to get it or do you want me to get it?
I know you go good.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I put up on my Twitter. I could swear I tagged you in it last time I posted it.
Oh my gosh, I have no idea. I can only imagine. Oh my God. No, because I was thinking, what's the only place that would be more crowded and packed than WrestleMania? And the streets of New Delhi probably would be the only place.
So many jokes to be mined. We'll just keep shut.
Dude, you have no idea. I don't like concerts. I just do not like being surrounded by people. When we were at MegaCon, I was miserable. All I wanted to do was escape. I could feel all of their nerd germs on my skin. And then I got ludicrously
to this arrogant prick over here.
What? You think people don't have germs?
They're like animals.
But yeah, I know. We're all sheep to Marv Movie Monster out here.
All right, Marv. The link is in the link's in our private chat there. If you want to.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna pull this out. Is this like an official WWE thing or something?
No. This is Rock a King. Ring to King. Sorry.
Marv gives people in society the same look that Steve Regal gives to everybody.
I'm very pleasant when you meet me out in the real world. I just don't want people that
alone
close
in the
to
dark.
Yeah,
or at Disney World.
I discovered this from probably my favorite Marky D video. He did a whole series on Ring to King, and
all right, let's see what happens here.
Oh my God! क्या हो रहा है? मुझे विश्वास ही नहीं हो रहा। स्कॉट स्टाइनर क्या बोल रहे हैं? पब्लिक में लगता है इतना गुस्सा दिला दिया है कि अब जो भी आए उसको खेल रहे हैं।
Oh my God!
No wonder they ran. He was throwing things.
Yeah.
It's too crowded in here. It's too many people. I need space. They're telling me I can't have a cheeseburger. There's a cow in the locker room. Oh my gosh! Oh, that's amazing. So you know what? I think he had heard that William Regal almost died in India, and so he was showing up there like you ain't gonna kill me. Remember William Regal got some kind of horrific infection while they were in India, and almost died.
Yeah.
And Jericho said that when they would go over there, he would literally bring a loaf of bread and a giant jar of peanut butter, and that was the only thing he'd eat for the entirety of the trip.
I can only imagine wrestlers' stories about going to places like India.
When
You thought Trump was bad.
I interviewed Mike Mondo. I should dig that up sometime. I interviewed Mike Mondo. He told me a great story about him and Mick Foley touring Africa. That I'm gonna try to dig that up, and maybe we'll throw it on Patreon or something. That'd be fun.
Oh my goodness. All righty. All right, guys. So we've had some laughs. You guys ready to get into the more somber topic here? So
What could that be?
sadly, the wrestling world lost a legend, a hardcore legend, a man whose moniker you can't say on YouTube, but he was the bleepicidal Sabu, a man who I did not realize his name was like Terry Brunk or something like that. Did everybody know that his name was Terry Brunk?
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
That would be like if Randy Orton's real name was John Rena. I was amazed by that. I was just like, oh my gosh, like, because like his big match was with Terry Funk with that barbed wire match. Right. But I mean, I think everyone in the 90s, the first time they saw Sabu, knew that they were watching something extremely special, because he was doing things that nobody else was doing. And I know, like, the Sabu botches and stuff like that kind of became a thing later in his career, but like those botches, it was part of just this whirlwind of destruction that he was. Sometimes the things that he did landed, sometimes they didn't.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know, guys. Kev, did you ever meet him in any shows or anything?
No, but I did meet him at I think the second or third ever ECW pay-per-view I went to, and I wasn't supposed to.
Oh, really? That sounds like a story.
We got there hours early because the person driving could not read a map properly and grossly underestimated our travel time. So we're just wandering around. We're wandering around, and we just make our way to the back of the building, and there's a door that's open, and standing in that doorway is Psycho Sid, Sabu, and RVD, and we go, set, and he goes, and then we nodded. He gave us a thumbs up, and we kept it moving.
My favorite you at an ECW story is still, you guys looking for a bridge?
Yeah, Taz appearing out of nowhere like he was Gandalf.
Yeah, you know what? No one people.
Bridge?
Yeah,
Follow
yeah.
me.
Like, so you,
I know the way.
You're lost in Philadelphia, right? Like you're driving, or not Philadelphia, wherever you were for the show. Right. So you're driving around, because some people don't know this story.
Oh,
I'm telling you to tell it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so we went to whichever one of the summer pay-per-views it was, and we're in Poughkeepsie, and I don't know how we got turned around, so we couldn't get our way back to one of the major bridges, and just out of nowhere, sitting in the light, and this beautiful white Lincoln pulls up next to us, totally tinted out. We're just sitting there minding our business. The windows roll down, and it's Taz, and he goes, "Hey, guys!" And we look over. We're like, "Oh shit, it's Taz." He goes, "You guys looking for a bridge? Follow me. I know the way." And then he led us
you to
the bridge. And he was a very, very, very conscientious and considerate driver. If he turned right, the blinker was on 3 minutes before he turned right. If he was going to go left, he turned it on, and he stayed with us until he was ready to merge off. We were sitting debating, do you think he drives like this? Played his music.
Of course he does. Of course, Taz, legendary matches with Sabu. That Sabu Taz match sold ECW's first pay-per-view by itself.
That's the thing that got me into wrestling or ECW for the first time was seeing a picture of Sabu being brought out like Hannibal Lecter.
Yep.
Yeah.
In Pro Wrestling Illustrated.
Me too.
Yep. And that was during the task feud. The fact that, or the picture I saw was during the task, but the fact that they didn't touch each other for what, a year?
A year.
Mm-hmm.
A year they didn't touch each other. That's insane. The Sabu, I got to meet Sabu, Marv. I got to meet Sabu.
Oh, okay. Tell us.
WrestleMania 32. I was at the wrestling convention, WrestleCon, that they used to do during WrestleMania. And my buddy wanted to smoke a cigarette, so we went outside to smoke a cigarette. And Sabu and his genie girlfriend. Who was that, by the way? Does anybody know who that
wow,
genie?
I forgot about her. I can't
remember
remember
her,
name.
but I can't remember her name either.
The genie girlfriend. They were outside, and she came up to my buddy and asked if Sabu could have a cigarette. And of course he's like, yeah, of course, yeah. And he starts digging around trying to find a cigarette, and he gives her a cigarette. And then she goes to me and she goes, could you give Sabu a cigarette? And I said, oh, I don't have any cigarettes. She goes, oh, okay. And then she moves on to the next people, and she asked each one of them she was going around collecting a cigarette tax for us being in the same vicinity as Sabu.
Sounds about right.
We thought it was just like bumming a cigarette, but then at the end, Sabu pulls out a box of cigarettes and just shoves all of the cigarettes that he collected from around there and put it in his pack. And he goes, "Thanks, guys!" And he gave us a little the finger up in the air, and he walked back in. That was
my goodness.
Neckbeard,
brilliant. Always
Neckbeard
working.
said, "Yep, I love it."
Apparently
Neckbeard
she
says
passed
that he
away
had a
too.
joint with him around 2002.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it does.
How about you, Awful?
Awful.
never met the man, but I remember
Really,
first
I'm
seeing
shocked
him.
because you went to a lot of ECW shows, right?
I went to a few ECW shows, but this was during this was like early, and I saw him in person, but I never met the man. You know what I mean? So I saw him wrestle. I just thought at the time, I'm gonna be real with you guys, I didn't really like him. I didn't appreciate what he was bringing to the table. Thought he was reckless. Thought he had no idea what the hell was going on. Then he kind of wrestled Taz, that whole program with Taz. He got a little bit better, and then he actually, in fact, the whole thing around him was that he couldn't wrestle, and then when he wrestled Taz, he tried to wrestle a straight amateur type wrestling match. Pretty cool, but yeah.
He also fell off the R on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. Pretty goddamn cool.
When he jumped onto the Team Taz and he just fell off the R.
Yeah. You know what kind of ruined his aura for me is the fact that he used to do shoot interviews. Like if he would have stayed quiet, stayed mum, and just kept to like the Undertaker type gimmick, you know what I mean? Like just keep quiet until it's all said and done. He would have been way more over than I think he is now.
You know what? I don't remember. Did Vince ever make him talk? Like, did he ever make him cut promos?
Yes.
Yes, he made him cut that "I am Sabu" promo, and everyone was like, "What the hell is this?"
Oh, the guy went like 15 years never uttering a word, and we were all fine with it. Nobody ever wanted to hear him talk. You come out there, you do crazy things, and you point at the sky. That's what you do. You don't talk.
Can you sing, pal? You ain't never had a friend like me. Come on.
Where's the Iron Sheik? Let's make him your manager. I'm really surprised.
Sabu was with RVD the night he got pulled over in Philadelphia and lost that WWF championship. Yeah,
he was the
that
scapegoat.
was that
Sabu
for him.
the
Yeah, he
scapegoat.
was. He was the scapegoat. Sabu was the one that got fired over that.
Yeah,
And then
Sabu totally would have beaten the Big Show for the title too.
I gotta say, I think this might be weird to say, but if you've always been like a WWE fan, I think the best match, if you haven't seen Sabu, I think the best match to go back to watch, at least to get introduced to Sabu before you get into his deeper stuff, would be Sabu John Cena.
100%.
I can't believe how great of a match they had. I went back and watched it a couple days ago, and John Cena sold for him like he was wrestling Brock Lesnar. You know, like he really treated him like a star. You could tell there was a lot of respect there, and it was probably the best Sabu ever really looked during that entire run.
You know what sucks too is that like right when the wars happened, people don't really get that Sabu was already broken down at that point.
Yeah.
So by the time like everything super explodes, and he should be a super duper megastar. He's already 8 years into being able to hardly walk. You know, people forget, like, before One Night Stand, they were doing. What was it called before GoFundMe, where he was essentially begging for money to get it, to help him pay for a crap ton of surgeries that the guy needed. So it's incredible that even in his broken down, or I guess say unoptimized position, he was able to do what he did and do it with such gusto and flair. It was incredible. Even when it didn't go well, it was still fantastic to watch.
he was a human car wreck.
One match that I really loved that I don't think it's talked about enough is his match with Rhino at the first One Night Stand. I love that match because it tells such a great story. And then with RVD coming in on one leg, I love that match. I mean, Sabu and Rhino were always good together. But yeah, man, it's but like the single greatest thing about Sabu was how much Tony Khan loved him.
Oh yeah. Did you should pull up before we get into that, you should pull up the Sabu clip that we have from ECW.
Yes.
Let's look at
Power bomb.
Sabu versus RVD.
Sabu is in trouble. Van Dam now mocking Sabu.
Oh my God.
Let's make this.
Oh God, what a clapping seal that kid was.
He still is. Look at him there.
Yeah.
Not an adult. Not an adult chaperone in sight. Just him and all his internet friends.
I asked that question in the private chat. I was like, "Where's Dad? Where's Shad at?"
Yeah. Shad's not delving into the ECW arena.
Where's his nanny?
His nanny's standing by the entrance, waiting for the show to end.
He's out there with all his friends from the message boards, I'm sure.
Beakley, keep Tony from being taken by his friends from the message boards.
Yeah.
Oh, he would. Yeah, it would have been Beakley. Oh my goodness. So also, people have been trying to make this make Sabu's death about Tony Khan. I can't speak for All Elite Wrestling, but I could certainly see TK do a very special tribute the week of the residency shows at Arena 2300 in Philly. Just call it the ECW Arena for the love of all that is holy.
He even got it wrong. Really it's not Arena 2300. It's the 2300 Arena. So he even got that wrong.
This would really be special for many fans. I'm sure Taz will suggest something as well. Maybe get Rhino, RVD, Taz all together and do a memorable speech for what made Arena 2300 so special to Sabu.
What if he hated 2300 Arena?
Yeah, what if he was like, this place is garbage. I despise it.
It's an enabler.
Every time I walk in here, my skin crawls. I can feel all your germs on my skin.
Right.
Like Marvin at Comic-Con.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can feel it. I can feel them crawling on me.
Marv is Agent Smith at the end of the first Matrix.
Yeah, seriously.
Terrible.
Oh, God.
And that's not the only one. That's not the only one.
What's not the only one?
That's not the only, like, hey guys, Tony Khan. Sabu loved Tony Khan. There was. I don't know. Do you think there
isn't Tony Khan great, guys? Sabu's dead. Isn't Tony awesome?
Do you think there was an initiative? Like, do you think? Because we know from plenty of reports that they actually do contact social media accounts and like, this is what we want to talk about this week. Do you think there was an initiative to tie Sabu to Tony Khan?
I will not go that far. I can't.
Okay.
I cannot imagine that
it's Pavlovian it's Pavlovian at this point, my man. I mean,
anything happens in wrestling that gets attention. Yeah. It's how does this connect to Tony Khan?
Yeah, the sicko's gonna sick. They are creepy little cultists. They can't help it. I can't put that on Tony.
Because there were some other ones where it's like, I'm really sad Sabu died. Here's what Sabu said about Tony Khan in AEW and talked about how much he respected Tony Khan. But he didn't say that. He said, hey, he's paying people, so that's cool. I guess I respect that. I don't know the guy, but that's good.
Well, yeah,
you know,
and Tony brought him in. He was the last major guy to bring him in.
Right.
And then everybody got on their high horse because he had said some things on social media or something like that.
Oh, I know. Please. Yeah.
The one time where they turned on Tony. But yeah, so all right. But AEW fans are not, and AEW are not the only ones trying to glom off of this. I think this is gonna get heated. So this is Joey Janela, right? Talking
that twerp.
So what do you mean Sabu can't walk? They said, yeah, Sabu, something with his knee. They're locked up. He can't walk and his feet are bleeding. He's not coming. Sabu's not coming. I said, Sabu's effed up. I said, Sabu's effed. So we talked to indie wrestler Matt Tremont, and Tremont is about to be the replacement for the match. And I feel like this is going to be the most embarrassing moment of my wrestling career. Oh, poor you. There's 2,000 people here. This is one of the biggest spring breaks ever, the biggest crowd Mania weekend indie-wise, and I'm going to have to go out there and announce that Sabu once again no-showed his own retirement match. Lauderdale was less concerned. In the back of my mind, I knew Sabu was coming, he said. I never once worried if we didn't hear from Sabu, then I would be worried. But the fact that he was communicating, I knew he was coming. We are an hour into the show, and I said, just get Sabu here, Janela continued. So they gave him something called Kratom, or Kratom, or
Kratom.
How do you pronounce it? Kratom?
Kratom.
You can buy it at a smoke shop or something. It's like a legal opiate or something. They said
Or
he's
something.
hopping on the bed, he's hopping off the bed, and we're going to get him to the show. So he shows up 2 hours into the show. Sabu was on a different effing planet. Everyone in the backstage was like, what the F? Is this match going to happen? And my God, did it happen? Did he say this after he died?
I was not sure.
Before?
Kev said that he did.
Or at the very least, the story didn't drop until after he died. I saw the story for the first time, I think, because I think when it broke, I was doing last call with Chris, and then like 2.5 hours later, it was all over the internet.
So what happened was the guy was injured, couldn't walk, and GCW's response was, let's hop him up on opiates.
Okay. Well, first off, something tells me that they're only saying Kratom to cover them. Like,
yeah,
you don't think it was Kratom?
No, dude, there's no way that he. Okay, I use Kratom occasionally.
Doesn't that shit put you to sleep?
It just puts you to sleep. And if you use more, okay, it is possible that it was laced or something like that. That's always possible because, people do that, right? So that's always possible, maybe, whatever. But really, if you do too much, like if you do to the point where it's like going to get you like high, you're kind of just going to throw up because you're eating a ton of basically herbs. It'd be like eating raw marijuana or something like that,
Guys, also just because I'm looking at the chat, we are not saying that GCW is the reason why Sabu is dead.
And that's actually kind of what I wanted to say.
It's just a scummy story.
It's just
right.
Yeah.
I don't think GCW is responsible for it. I don't think that the Kratom thing is true. I don't think that if Sabu wanted to wrestle, okay. Can we? Has Sabu cleaned up over the past few years? Because he was very open about the fact that he would just take handfuls of pills not too long ago. And
I think he was a lot better than he had been.
Okay.
Up to the point where he had said fairly recently that he was done saying no to the WWE Hall of Fame and would finally say yes, which is like extra disappointing.
Yeah. And for the record, I take a little bit of Kratom from my stomach. That's all I do. So I don't know what it does in high doses or anything like that. But I can't imagine that you'd be jumping on a bed from it. So
like, I'll put it to you like this. He was around during the time when guys were taking somas. So like,
yeah,
that's like extremely powerful. and kills you.
Right. And this,
so it's like, really, some herbs?
yeah, and not only that, but it's also mainly used to give people. It satisfies the same reactors that opiates does, right? So it's good for people who need withdrawal, who are having withdrawals or something like that. But it doesn't like get you all hopped up or anything like that. So I do think that was a code word. I also here's my big question though: why are you telling this story at all? What is this?
Right.
What does this add to anything? I mean, is it just Joey Janela trying to sound cool? Is it is he trying to ruin Brett Lauderdale's relationship with WWE? Because he really threw him under the bus at that point.
Wait,
like,
Janela threw Lauderdale under the bus?
I mean, he said that he let him
by exposing this story. He did, yeah. I mean,
yeah, by telling the story. Period. He did.
I mean, that guy's where Janela's bread is buttered. I wouldn't think he's the last big promoter that on the Indies that's booking him.
Well,
you're giving Janela too much credit.
You are giving Janela too much.
I mean, do you think he's smart or something?
And you also Janela's he's still good with AEW. Like, people don't. If you think that him and AEW have no ties, you're not correct. He is still buddies with Tony Khan, and he still, fights for him and stuff like that. He's kind of his
Tony's got a dealer now,
out to the Indies.
Well, he knows if. Go ahead.
Okay, and the WWE relationship is with Barnett, not with Brett. So there's
Well, here's the thing with Janela. I think Janela realizes that if he's ever going to get back on TV ever, it's going to be in AEW. So he's got to keep Tony's bread buttered.
You're 100% correct. This dude, come on. This guy's kind of been exposed. He's a nobody who never should have been. He threw himself off of a bunch of buildings, and it's just by virtue of the fact that he didn't expire that someone thought it would be funny to put him on TV. And he didn't offer anything remotely close to quality while he was there, and they shoved him down our throats every chance they could get. So it didn't work. No one cares about this dude. He is the joke's joke. He is the mark's mark. Stop it. This was classless as far as I'm concerned. This was just a brazen attempt to glom off of the news cycle, and you told a story that shouldn't have been told. You threw a lot of people under the bus, and then when you caught heat for it, and people had questions for you, or they did a quick Google search and saw FDA warnings, you decided to go, well, everybody does it. 90% of your favorite wrestlers do.
Right.
So it's like this. F everybody involved in this story anyway, except for Sabu. Brett's no saint.
No. Yeah, it's a bunch of terrible people, and everyone's trying. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. There's probably a decent chance that Sabu's quote unquote handlers, or whatever Janela called them, probably may not have been the best people either. I mean, these are all people who are glomming on to other people's fame, and a lot of times that ends up not turning out well. But there's no way, unless the kratom was laced with ricin, there's no way that it killed him 3 weeks later. Okay, Sabu died because Sabu died. He was going to die. Is it a crappy thing that they taped him together and threw him out in the front of the crowd to wrestle a match? Sure, but you know what? Sabu also once glued his mouth shut because his jaw broke to continue wrestling.
The sad reality of it is if you are a man from 55 to 74, if you fart too hard at the wrong time, you may depart this earthly coil.
Oh, God damn it, I'm fucked.
You gotta fight. And if you can make it to 75, you're probably here for the long haul. So, when you put yourself through the torture that the man put his body through, plus all the other things that may have gone in and out along the way, bro, like it's sad. It's sad that it happened when it happened, but we can't be like, my gosh, he was so young. We're not talking about some NCAA 21-year-old. I hate to put it so blunt, but like, come on.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
And he lived.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
he lived longer than a lot of people did from his era, who did the same kind of stuff he did. It's
Longer than New Jack.
he lived a hard life, and it's a fast 60, right? So
Yeah. 65 and had dogs and beans for supper tonight. Oh, fantastic.
Ernest Cruz almost touched the finger of God tonight.
Yeah, been nice knowing you, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, men, we all know this is true.
brother, I'm 42 years old. I'm already
Yeah, dude. None of us
okay?
none of us on this panel have hit that age yet.
I did 15 years ago. Awful when I got.
Okay. Speak for yourself.
Oh my goodness. All right, guys.
One more thing about Sabu, real quick. I think we should all recognize that no matter how Sabu went out, no matter what happened towards the end of his life, he was always the one who tried to warn us about Chris Benoit and take him out before he could cause so much damage. And for that,
Wow.
we should be eternally grateful for Sabu.
Sabu's a robot from the future, came back to try to stop Chris Benoit.
Sabu with Kyle Reese.
Wait, that makes no sense. Benoit broke Sabu's neck.
He tried. I didn't say he did.
Oh,
they were in a fight for their life in there, and
gotcha.
Benoit
Sabu-
won, but
The Sabu is Kyle Reese.
yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Well, my goodness, we I think we need a little palate cleanser to get us back into the yuck yucks after that. So.
Oh my God! क्या हो रहा है? मुझे विश्वास ही नहीं हो रहा। स्कॉट स्टाइनर चैंपियन बन गए हैं। पब्लिक ने लगता है इतना गुस्सा दिला दिया है कि अब इनके साथ जो भी आए उसकी खेल रही है।
My God. Remember how
The
Brody
best part is when he tries to jump up into the audience, like up higher.
Scott Steiner's really trying to work hard. I was about to say, like, Brody, all he had to do was give you a mean look, and 50 people scattered from the audience. Scott Steiner's got to throw guardrails. He's got to climb up to other aisles.
Oh my goodness, I love him so much. I love every Steiner minute, guys. Him coming to Twitter has been the single greatest thing that's ever happened to anyone ever in the world.
Did you see the AI baby doing the Scott Steiner Math promo?
Yes, I
That he
did. That
posted?
was hysterical. That was so funny. Oh my goodness. All right, guys, we have some super chats to get to. Let's see. Where did we leave off? Here we go. Juan Alacan for $10 says, just getting into it with people on Fightful Instagram that are agreeing with Kenny Omega saying WWE within 10 years will main event Logan Paul versus Mr. Beast.
They'll make more money than anything AEW will do for in the sum total of 10 years.
Well, the problem with Kenny Omega has moments where you're like, oh, he might actually be a pretty good dude. Kenny Omega is so threatened by the existence of Logan Paul, though, and for some reason he's got blinders on about that one issue. Omega, the Bucks, they are all so terrified of Logan Paul and how good he is.
Dude, because he exposes them. He exposes them. You have an actual athlete. People sleep on the fact that Logan Paul was a very accomplished amateur wrestler. But you have a guy who is a natural athlete with natural charisma and in a very short amount of time can do everything they do better than they can do it, plus more.
Yep. It's sad how much Logan Paul lives rent-free in all their heads.
And I'm sure we'll get his max numbers.
Oh, I'm sure. Dead X-Man, true, very true. Dead X-Man 616 for $2. His Boss Man's dead dad bit is better than Christian's. Yes, it is, and it's not close. Boss man went there, guys.
Yeah,
Boss
really.
man went there.
Christian doesn't
He
really
stole
sell
a
it.
casket.
Yeah.
He stole
Regina
a
shop.
casket.
Regina shop for $5. Well, the Big Show wrote on it.
Daddy.
They're in an actual. By the way, they were in an actual like cemetery where like people might have been there. Like,
funeral. It happened
like-
during an actual funeral.
oh, did it really? Was there an actual funeral going on there? Oh my
There's an
god!
actual funeral going while they're doing this.
And there was an actual funeral going on while they did Katie Vick too.
Oh God.
There was a funeral in the next room while Vince is going, "You gotta thrust." Oh gosh. Virginia shop for $5 says, "Oh, come on, Dis. Just because a kid wanted a bunch of sticks is no reason to mangle the English language."
Oh my goodness.
Zach K for $4.99 says,
Together, we're one mighty.
Hogan says, "I face Jeff Cobbs, who was two men in one man's body, brother."
Jeff Cobb looks like Maui.
John Williams for $4.99 goes, "They didn't sell out, not according to my sources." I wouldn't know, though, because I was at the live Collision taping during the WWE PLE. John Williams for $4.99 says, "Scott Steiner heard India had a god of destruction, and he decided to become it." Yes. They got a god of destruction? It's a girl. I'm going to go there. I'm going to show Shiva what a real man looks like.
Yeah. I've got the largest 80 arms in the world.
I got a peak on top of a peak on top of a peak. Oh my goodness. Liger J81 for $2 says, "Marv looks at people like Dave looks at rappers. Hey, it's not that bad. I just don't want people breathing on me."
See that? See that, folks?
And that's all people. That is an ethnic rainbow of people I don't want near me, by the way. Dave is rather hyper focused on certain people. So
Drain the pool.
Hey, Marv, 1940 called. They want their philosophy back.
look,
No,
Look.
2021 called. They want their philosophy back.
dude, can I just say, when we all had to stay away from each other in like lines and stuff like that, and like the distance, oh, I loved it. I was like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened. No one's ever near me. No one ever touches me. Like
Marv's dancing outside like Fred Astaire.
If people got too close, it was socially acceptable to ask them to back up. Like, oh,
Marv's favorite movie is Falling
best.
Down.
I got to not leave the house for like 2 months.
I
We
Am
were-
Legend.
Very different. Very different lives.
Yeah, really, man. I went to a Phillies game a couple weeks ago. I had a blast because like people were there. You know, it's just a good time. Marv.
Look, I always like going to baseball games because when I went to Shea Stadium back when I lived up north, you know, there was nobody there. I had lots of leg room.
No, there you go. Boston fan.
No, I was a Mets fan.
Okay.
I don't know.
Ooh.
I couldn't name two Mets players now, but I was a Mets fan for.
There's something about New York, New Jersey, where depending on where you are, you're a Yankees fan or a Mets fan, but
Right.
you are never allowed to be a Phillies fan or a Red Sox fan.
No. My so when my parents were all Yankees fans. My brothers are Yankees fans. My grandparents are Yankees fans. I was a Mets fan because I was the contrarian. So, Blazing Bolts for $5 says, "Any paranormal experiences? Any conspiracy theories you guys believe in?" Oh, well, I don't know if this is the space for that, but
Yeah, really.
Thursday combo, I guess.
Demonetized.
yeah, that is a Thursday combo. But get me talking sometime about the tunnels underneath the pyramids, and man, we'll put on some tinfoil hats together, my friend.
Yeah, we want to talk about the Illuminati. I'll be here all day. Okay.
Roddy Piper left me a voicemail.
I'm walking with Jesus, my brother. I'm walking with Jesus.
I can go Tom DeLong on this place if you want me to.
Regina
my
Shop for
God.
$5 says, "Scott Steiner did the math, and not just regular math, not just Steiner math, but Steiner Indian math. It was super effective."
Well done.
Chef Eddie for $2 says, congrats on the pro emoji, Kevin. Yes, today on the pro show, there was a super chat goal, and if we had hit it, there was going to become a Kevin Apollo emoji for members on the pro channel. So you know what? I just started thinking, I'm like, we only have 2 emojis on the Tooney Town TV channel for members. Like, we have me and you, and I'm like, we need like more. We need like a Trish. We need a Lauren. We need more stuff. So.
I like how Marv says this like he's not the one to be doing this.
Well, no, I'm realizing that I have to go do it. It's it's a whole lot of things that I have to do.
This wee nonsense. Go ahead.
Alex Wilms for $10 says, Ricochet and Samantha were at my local con this weekend. Hyped as her first major appearance since quitting. X-Pac's line was longer, and after a while, only the local indie guys were in their line. If X-Pac's line was not longer, there'd be a problem.
I saw Ricochet tweet about this. He was talking about how like only people on the internet are weird. People in real life are, and then someone's like, you don't talk to people in real life, really, and he said, oh no, I was at the con this weekend and I talked to a whole bunch of people who were just walking by the booth and I chatted
not
up.
stopping.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Like, why would you post that online? You just posted.
Yeah, as people are walking by, he's like, "How's it going?" And they're like, "Fine."
You had so much time on your hands at the con that you could just talk to people while they're walking by the booth.
Oh
You're Ricochet doing that? Come on, man.
So he's a perfume merchant at the mall?
Yeah. He's Virgil.
Yeah.
He's gonna be Virgil.
You're the new Virgil.
You want a polio, Roy?
Yeah.
Did I tell that story on the air?
I don't know. You might not have.
I think you did. I think you did.
But you know what? Every episode of Tooney Talk Wrestling is somebody's first.
Go for it. Go for it.
So it was like one of my first autograph signings. And I went with my buddy Justin Idol, who I think you guys will meet someday when he stops being lazy. So
we've been waiting for that for 20 years.
I know. So the show advertised Beefcake, DiBiase, Hacksaw, Virgil, and like 4 other people. So we were going up there to get a whole bunch of Coliseum video stuff signed. We walk upstairs because it's like a wrestling show, comic book convention combined, and the only person up there from wrestling is Virgil. But what does Virgil have? The 8x10s of everybody that was supposed to be on that list. And they're like, oh, cool. It's Virgil. Let's go have a conversation with him. So, oh, no, sorry. No. No, we go, oh, cool. It's Virgil. I'm going to go get some stuff. We'll go over it a little bit. And he's like, maybe there's nothing going on. Maybe he'll have a conversation with us. I'm looking in something. And then out of the way here, a brother up in this mother effer. So I fuck about him, like, is he talking to me? I was like, oh, he's talking to me. And then he's like right behind me, like he appears like he's Batman.
Made the mistake of making eye contact.
I didn't know there'd be 3 more Virgil instances. I learned from the first one to avoid him at all costs. So now he's like just talking. How long you guys been watching wrestling? Da. Hey, you know what? You guys want a polio roid?
Oh God!
Like, okay, sure. I'll gladly take a Polaroid. Why not? So he has he puts Justin in a headlock. Then I put him in a headlock, and then he goes, Fence that shit up right. Fence that shit up tight. And then he grabs a random woman and makes her take the picture with his Kodak, and then, all right, guys, $50.
What?
We were like, yeah, no way. I was like, your price list says 20. It's like, how about I'll give you the Polaroid, I'll sign it, and I'll give you an 8x10 for 30. So I don't really want to. And then, come on, we'll do another one. And then, what's your name? And he goes, Justin. Oh, like Justin Timberlake? A boom bop.
A boom bop has always been my favorite part of this story.
I would have immediately given Virgil $50 at that point.
That was worth it right there.
Yeah. And I went, you know what? Let's give him the 30. It's okay.
You know, we said Ricochet was the new Virgil. That's not fair because Virgil was over at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People knew who people might not have stopped at his booth, but they knew
He
who
was
he
a featured match at WrestleMania. You know what I mean?
He teamed with Roddy Piper, man. So
oh my goodness. Another time, Kevin, the next time Virgil comes up, you have to tell the story of when he cornered when he cornered the little girl.
That was Virgil Part 2.
Yeah. The re-Virgiling. Also rest in peace, Virgil. Scott Tucky for $10 says Sabu was a comic book hold customer at our shop. So sad to see he passed away. Oh, I like to know that I wonder like what books he got, like what was on his hold list. That's interesting. Now, Scott Tucky, if you're still here and you want to let us know what books Sabu liked to read, I would love to know that. Keep an eye out for his responses. I'm not looking at the full chat right now.
On it.
Last call podcast for $5 says TKO is now doing power slap with indie wrestlers. I want Joey Janela versus Kevin Apollo just to see if Apollo could take Joey's head off with one hard slap. I think he could. I say this is someone who once in a moment of young foolery said, Kevin, slap me. I want it, like I bet you I could take it, and I was on the floor. So
okay. 100 Joey Janela's versus one Kevin Apollo. Who?
Oh, the one Kevin Apollo wins. The one Kevin Apollo wins. Oh my gosh, the I love the meme now of like the gorilla like eating like eating the fruit, and it's like like it's gone through 99 men, and then the last one comes out and it's like the Undertaker or it's Brock. CWJ 128 for $5. Marv at New York Comic Con would be like Monet towards her fans. Might as well have a barrier to the pores. I have been to New York Comic Con, and you're not wrong.
You would only see the puppet. Marv would be controlling him by strings 20 feet above you.
MegaCon was actually probably a little bit worse than New York Comic Con at some points because New York Comic Con is a bigger space and traffic is kind of regulated a little bit better. I mean, this was just, there was no way to move on Saturday. It was bad. BC23 for $10 says RIP Sabu. Glad to see Mercedes drop the NJPW title only to probably win Owen, then AEW title, unless she loses Owen and they do rematch of her and Athena for ROH title. Glad to see Jeff Cobb solo Fatu for SummerSlam. I would assume that's going to be for SummerSlam. Yes. Mercedes, I think she's her. They're going to want to do her and Tony Storm at All In. And she'll her.
I think
her and Athena's over.
Titles. No, you think so? I think they're gonna. I think they're bringing it back for Supercard. I bet they do. Because I think what they were doing was I think they were heating it up for Supercard, and then they delayed it 2 months, so they just kind of hit pause on it until it comes back around.
Wing and Moonlight for $5 says also there are different strains: red for sleep and pain, white for energy, and green is a mix of both. Oh, I guess talking about the
okay, Kratom.
The Kratom, yeah. This isn't a super chat, but I starred this one because I thought it was interesting. Liquid Fox says, oh great, Bald FTR said he's tired of this generation and isn't holding back anymore. We're about to get some high levels of cope coming in the while. Wait a minute, he was holding back before?
Yes.
That was filtered, Bald FTR?
Yeah. Now he's rowdy. He's unhinged.
Getting rowdy. I move some things.
Boom bop.
Dax Unleashed.
Liquid Fox, you now owe us $5 retroactively for that.
Liquid Fox for $2 Canadian says we all know how Disc got that Cena shirt. Poor kid.
$10.
He's insinuating that you stole it from a child.
I understand that. Yes, and it's true.
Virginia Sharp for $5 says we need a thumbnail of Marv doing the COVID Joker dance. There's a COVID Joker dance?
You with the mask on doing the Joker dance down the stairs.
Yeah. Yep. Oh man, Disney, like the theme parks were like people, they weren't doing the fill in all available space. I'm like, no, shut up. about we just stand in a nice single file line? We leave a little space for Jesus. Like, come on.
Marv going down the stairs, blasting Time of My Life.
Ugh. Step back. Forever Runner for $4.99. Hey guys, I figured out who El Grande Americano is. It's Mark Henry. Yep, there it is. We've got it. That black bear for $5 has met Virgil. Wanted 50. I told him I only had 20. He gladly accepted it.
Always working.
Yeah. And then that black bear for $2 is, yeah, Kev just imagines Janela as me. That black bear, I'll tell you.
There's been a
guys.
sighting. There's been a sighting.
A sighting of the black bear?
He appeared by Duke's daycare.
He's hunting your son.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So it's the same bear though.
Same bear, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It'd be cool if he gave him a pamphlet.
He's playing like have you heard the good word of honey? Like, what is he giving him?
Oh, I thought you meant like Kev giving a pamphlet for one of his shows.
No, the bear's like some Mormon missionary. Like,
Yeah. On a bike.
hello, my name is Elder Bear, and I would like to share with you the most amazing book.
Regardless, Kev, you need to catch the bear and train him. I've been telling you this for a year now.
You can't train a bear like that.
Bret Hart did. I mean, Stu Hart did. So.
Classic Boy Meets World moment. Remember that?
Yeah.
And it's a TV bear. It's a trained bear, right? You can't train a bear. Well, he's great with kids. So, all right. So we'll bring the kids in, and they can come up and take pictures with the bear. Oh, I wouldn't do that. I figured you of all people would remember that one, Dis. And
I said I did. Yeah, I remember.
Okay,
TV
cool.
is a true mirror of our life. Was also a quote around there.
Okay. All right, moving right along.
Done to the chat.
So, I mean, last year he was kind of like more like just coming at you. Like last year it was just kind of like a full frontal assault. This year he's playing mind games.
Mm-hmm.
He's taken this to a cerebral level now.
Hangman Bear is what he got. He's gonna come burn down your house.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show
Triple
up.
A.
He's gonna be wearing butterfly jeans when he knocks over my garbage. I see you got a new garbage can. I'd be ashamed if I set it on fire.
We don't like your kind.
Oh my god, it'd be amazing if the black bear didn't like black guys.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Uncle Ruckus Bear.
Come over here, boy.
Cerebral assassin bear. Honey.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, you know what? Since we're already laughing, I think it's time to social media ignited the past couple days because there was going to be a huge crossover between Family Guy, the long-running comedy cartoon on Fox that, yes, is still on the air, you know, conceived by Seth MacFarlane in the late 90s, canceled unduly a few years later, and then brought back and has been there ever since and will outlast all of us. That Family Guy was going to cross over with AEW. Everyone was so excited. AEW breaking into the big time. A big time comedy show is going to reference AEW. Oh, what's it going to be? Is MJF going to appear as a voice actor? What are they going to do? Is Tony Khan going to be on the show? Watch along with me, folks.
The student you're matched up against today is Chris Griffin. He's not much of an athlete, so go easy on him.
By the way, I'm sorry, I had to pause it. Did you notice the AEW?
The AEW,
there?
yeah. It couldn't
The
even get
AEW.
AEW. They got AEW.
I wonder where he is anyway.
By God, it's the Griffinator from the top rope! Yeah! As a husky kid on the spectrum, this is the only kind of wrestling I'm into.
You don't have to explain yourself to me, Chris. As an adult whose bath mat is newspapers, I'm pretty into it too.
Hey, look, it's Excalibur.
Yeah, and that was it, guys. That was it. It was a one-off joke in which AEW was never directly referenced. There was an AEW on the kid's singlet, which people might have conceived that root beer. And it insulted AEW fans.
I want let's break this down. This is the modern day equivalent of Carrie being invited to the prom and having pig's blood doused on her. This is not a good look for AEW fans. You were told you were fat and autistic. What?
And that you're fat grown men who use newspapers as bath mats.
Meanwhile, you have Colt Cabana on Twitter swearing that they're going to get an Emmy for this episode.
Seriously, like running, like I picture Xavier Woods with the trombone. That's been that's been Colt Cabana all day. So Colt Cabana was the one that got this put together. Originally, Chris Griffin was, I guess, supposed to be in a Colt Cabana outfit.
Matt Classic mask.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but then they decided to go a different way.
Well, no. He still is wearing the Matt Classic mask.
No, but originally he was supposed to be wearing the Colt Cabana singlet. Like that was
that was
what I had heard. I think Colt Cabana had shared a sketch of it. He was originally supposed to be dressed as Colt Cabana, and then they were like, "No, what the heck is this?"
Hey, look, guys, I was creatively rejected.
Put him in a Lucha Libre mask. That's what we want. And they were like, "Well, okay." Colt Cabana did a Lucha Libre thing, so and then an Excalibur mask. So no references to the wrestlers, no voice cast appearance. The Cleveland show had Ric Flair for a very forgettable episode. Did you ever see that one? It's obnoxious. It's the most obnoxious thing I've ever seen in my life. Flair is like the counselor at the male bonding seminar, and I just remember he woos like 8,000 times, and he goes, "I'm Ric Flair, and if there's 3 things I know, it's wrestling, divorce, and male bonding." Oh my gosh. And then Bret Hart was on The Simpsons, obviously, back in the day. I think Hogan did an appearance on something once. That's actual crossover. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But by the way, speaking of like funny cartoons, you know what I miss? Camp WWE.
Yeah, that was good.
Did anyone else want? Because that was our Vince. Oh yeah, we could have written that show 1,000 times. But my favorite though is Vince going through all the campers' suitcases, and he pulls a bra out of like the Bellas. He's like, "A bra? I can't wear this probably."
Okay, so did you hear how this came about? How this happened?
Vaguely, but walk us through it.
Nepotism.
Colt Cabana's brother was the director for that scene. And he thought he'd slip his brother in as a little, Easter egg, right? Or really just kind of like saying, "Hey, I see you, bro," kind of thing. And then they needed a mask. So they used, he's like, "Oh, you should use Evil Uno." And they're like, "No." And they went through a bunch of masks until they got to Excalibur. But yeah, it only happened because Colt Cabana, nepotism, like Awful said. It had nothing to do with
if this was an Easter egg. That Easter egg is still lying around somewhere from like 1992.
Yeah, it's the egg that you didn't find, and you find years later on a day that's not Easter.
Yeah,
when you move the couch.
This is Colt Cabana's shining moment. The man hasn't been on television in like 4 years.
Let's take a look at his X account to see just how shining it was.
Yeah, please.
All right. Colt Cabana says, "When your brother is the director of Family Guy on Fox, sometimes your favorite masked wrestlers make an appearance. New episode Sunday at Shut Up Excalibur, #Matt Classic, at AEW XFG Crossover."
He's trying, ain't he?
And here it is. Here was the original Family Guy on Fox concept with both Matt Classic and Colt Cabana.
Oh, so both right.
They ended up wanting 2 masked wrestlers, so I pitched at Evil Uno, at King Serpentico, and at Shut Up Excalibur, and some others. At AEW X Family Guy Crossover of the century.
God damn. Or
it was so cool. It was so cool for Family Guy on Fox to recognize me as an at AEW wrestler, especially because I'm never on TV. I never wrestle for them. And at Shut Up Excalibur and want to do this. Huge AEW X Family Guy crossover. A lot of hard work went into making this happen. What?
Yeah.
Don't you feel Oh wow. Okay, keep going.
You didn't know about
Hours
this?
and
We
hours,
went
hours
forever.
and hours of paperwork and meetings to get this Family Guy on Fox and AEW collab official. For them to recognize me as an AEW wrestler and have at Shut Up Excalibur 2. So much hard work to make this official. God is good.
This is bigger than the Trump China tariffs.
Guys, this is a really fun
deal. Colt Cabana,
right.
and that guy who says nothing will appear on Family Guy in a joke that you won't get. No one will notice, but it'll be the greatest, biggest thing ever.
Is it just me, or does this read as him? Like, he posted that and he's just waiting for the phone call from like Tony Khan or someone to tell him good job, and he didn't get it. So he posts again, and then he goes back to his phone and no one calls, and he posts again, and he's like, come on, look, I really did it, guys. Look, at AEW. I'm going to tag AEW this time. Let's see. And he's just waiting, and nobody's calling.
Wouldn't you think, like, if you're AEW and you're negotiating this official crossover, that maybe, like, you have some, like, maybe the kid could have been, like, I don't know, Darby Allin or something like that, or maybe they mention maybe Chris Griffin's wearing an AEW shirt or something like that. No, because it was not a collab. It was, we used this mask.
What if that particular segment got the lowest rating on Family Guy? How great would that be?
Lost 81,000 viewers for that segment.
Lowest
that
rated
episode
Family
fell off a
Guy
cliff.
ever.
Right.
A show that no one watches anymore was watched by somehow even less people than usual.
Good grief.
Did you see?
Oh my God.
Did you see Beard's crossover with Family? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there it is.
I've been so sad since they took Sammy Guevara off TV. Oh my goodness. Oh man, it does not get better than that, guys. Like, that was just like, I was like, oh man, Family Guy's really like scraping the bottom of the barrel here. And then just suddenly I see what it is. I saw the clip and I'm like, well, that can't be it. It's got to be something more than that, right? And then when I realized that was it, I was like, this is the thing that Colt Cabana is waving his arms in the air and screaming about. This is a really fun day to be CM Punk.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. He's got material for days
Dead X
now.
Man 616 in the chat says Punk was the main heel in the Flintstones after he quit WWE. Oh my gosh, it's I can't I can't. But you know what was an official collaboration, I guess we could say. The Miz is now the host of American Gladiators on Amazon Prime.
Oh wow.
So excited about American Gladiators.
I'm assuming they might
American
mention WWE once or twice.
You think?
It's possible.
Well,
it's not just going to be it's not just going to be a way to insult the WWE fans.
Also, WWE guys are going to be on Power Slap apparently coming up here next year. So,
oh my gosh,
that should be fun. But yeah, Kev, you're excited about American Gladiators.
I love American Gladiators. I watched the reruns on Amazon Prime. I got finished just talking to somebody about it this weekend at a family event I had to go to. I'm like, I'm actually shocked that no one's doing a reboot of it, since the last reboot did kind of okay, and they threw it on NBC was stupid enough to throw it on a death slot. But I'm like, Amazon Prime needs people to watch it. I'd watch American Gladiators as long as they didn't Amazon it up. And then 3 days later, The Miz pops up on my screen as new host of American Gladiators.
Mm-hmm. And how will Prime screw it up? Well, we can't wait to see. Is he the sole host, or are they doing the thing where you have to have a male host and a female host again, like in the Hogan?
Like in the Hogan era?
Yeah. You know, I'm just realizing now that every host of American Gladiators has been affiliated with WWE at some point in their career, with Mike Adamle, Hulk Hogan, and The Miz.
Mike Adamle, Jeff Harvey.
You're Jamaican me crazy, Kofi.
It's one of the only other two examples of a company that used the term sports entertainment. When Hogan Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just saying, Joseph J. Alexander says it's not WWE guys on Power Slap. They're bringing in indie workers. That makes more sense. I was like, there is no way that Tripp is letting WWE wrestlers go in there and get slapped in the face as hard as they can and get concussions. Like, this is not going to happen. Go ahead. Yes, you were saying.
Oh, you know what? I thought I saw Braun Strowman, but I guess he got released, so it doesn't. Anyway,
yeah, indie wrestlers.
Yeah, no, but they're one of the only other two sports, quote unquote sports, that use the term sports entertainment. It was that I know of, at least, because I know them. And then what was the remember the basketball that Spike TV tried to do?
Oh,
yeah, basketball, but they used trampolines and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They called that sports entertainment too. So
was it slam ball? Was that slam ball or
slam
am
ball.
I making that up?
Slam ball. That's it. Slam ball. Good job, Marv. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Oh wait, was slam ball the roller skating one? What was the roller? Derby one?
I think
roller derby.
No, because the roller derby one I think was just called roller derby or something like that. It was the one they used to have to obsessively talk about on ECW TV.
Yeah. I love all that crap. I wish they had more stuff like that now. Those, like, that's why I like tire wrestling. Did anybody see tire wrestling when he has
tire wrestling?
They put tire wrestling against AEW one time.
I am intrigued. Tell me more.
Yeah, what is tire wrestling? Is it what it sounds like?
Yes, it is what it sounds like.
All right, roller jam.
Roller jam.
Yep.
There it is. Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Dis. Explain tire wrestling?
I can pull it up here. Give me a second. You guys talk amongst yourself. It's better. It's better seen.
We want to know what tire wrestling is, Marv. What do you think tire wrestling is?
I would assume it involves some kind of wrestling and tires, or unless it's tired wrestling, no. Which would probably be the Triple H Shawn Michaels Hell in a Cell match, where all they did was spoon with each other.
Slam ball. It was called slam ball.
That's what I said.
Oh yeah, that is what you said.
Yeah, they played it on King of Queens on one episode too. I remember. Kevin James
sharing sorry.
Yeah, no, they were in the same high school class, right?
Yeah. So when Kevin James got hurt, Mick Foley took his spot on the wrestling team.
Did any of you guys used to watch Robot Wars?
Yes.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Oh yeah, of course. But Lisa B just hit the nail on the head for post Raw viewing. Most extreme elimination challenge.
Don't get eliminated.
Right, you are, Ken. I loved most. By the way, MXC is up on Amazon Prime streaming, so you can actually still watch that.
Tire wrestling is in the chat.
Okay, tire wrestling is in the chat. Let me see.
It's a short, so
okay.
YouTube short.
All right, hold on. Let me share it and.
I would share it, but I've hit my limit of things I can share, so I can't.
It's fine.
It's StreamYard stuff.
All right, here we go.
Told. Okay, now Raven's up in the air. That means control time. His meter back to the mat. Now Rusty's in the air, and Raven is gaining control time. Not much, but every second counts at Ultimate Tire Wrestling.
What?
Control time. Anytime.
The fucking.
Who just cursed? Who just did that? Who just said that?
That was Marv.
That a fighter or
keep playing it, Marv. I gotta see
Ultimate
this.
Tire Wrestling can remove his competitor's feet from the mat. The control time clock will start. Told. Okay, now Raven's.
Wait, I'm sorry. So the point of it is to stuff your opponent in the tire. That's how you win.
Yes. Yep.
This is a game.
That's pretty cool.
This is the game where like you see three tires like piled on each other on like the side of somebody's house, and you're like, okay, new game, guys. First person to throw the other person into the tires wins. That's not something you put on TV.
That's legit. That is country football practice. Like, all right, guys, take your pads off. We're doing something special today.
Exactly.
The only retweet I ever got from Eric Bischoff, or quote tweet, was about tire wrestling, because the night that I was watching Dynamite one night and I got bored, so I switched the channel, and the next channel up was ESPN, and they were showing tire wrestling. I'm like, oh, they put tire wrestling up against AEW. I wonder what won. And Bischoff thought that was very funny.
That's got Bischoff. Well, because that's also got Bischoff Hervey written all over it.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I bet you Bischoff said 100. That gives me an idea.
Hey Jay, time to get back to work. All right, Scroat.
Oh my gosh. So why is Eric Bischoff wasting time with an amateur wrestling TV show with Hogan when tire wrestling is ripe for the picking right now? I'm not even kidding. I would watch an entire episode of tire wrestling.
It's on.
You didn't want to watch 4 seconds of it right now.
No, I was just amazed that it exists. Now that I know that it exists, I have to consume more of this product.
They have full episodes on YouTube. You can watch it anytime you want.
Oh, I definitely. Now, see, here's the problem with something like that is that if you get proficient at tire wrestling and your opponent is efficient at tire wrestling, now it's no longer tire wrestling. It's like we're wrestling near a tire.
Do you have to have a hand on the tire at all times? Because I noticed they never let go of the tire.
Right.
Oh, I don't know about that. I just know that the point is to throw your opponent into the tire.
Right. So it makes sense it makes sense to stay within the realm of the tire.
Yeah.
All right. That would be the strategy going forward to victory in tire wrestling.
This time next year, Marv's going to be a professional tire wrestler. He's quitting the internet. We've awoken a beast inside Marv.
No, but I might not become a tire wrestler, but I'll be the green shirt guy of tire wrestling. I'll be in the front row of every single event. Ugh.
You and the 4 fans. Perfect for you.
Stay away from me.
Exactly. It's perfect. There's nobody there.
They're like, dude, I'm the cameraman. I gotta be here.
Oh my gosh. All right, so I don't even remember where we are now.
Good, it's a zoo.
So
all in.
Yes, guys. So the WWE is setting up potentially looking at the weekend of July 12th in Atlanta for Evolution 2 pay-per-view, timed with a Saturday night's main event taping as well. The same weekend as All In Texas. Well, Saturday night's main event will be on the same night as All In Texas, which is a free show, which just guarantees that this is over.
All In Texas is on Sunday.
Oh, it's on Sunday? Well, then Evolution 2 would be against it.
Yeah, it's 1-on-1. It's face to face. So
Evolution Chamber.
All right, guys. Let's throw the broads at them.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, so apparently Evolution 2 is going to be an all women's pay-per-view.
Right. That's
so now, like, so now when the woke AEW fans lose their crap, we can literally say, we could just be like, wow, you know what? It's like your social responsibility to support the all women's pay-per-view. This is like not going to see Ghostbusters 2016, which is apparently a crime against humanity to not go see that. So
I don't understand the whole concept of people say like this is WWE trying to get AEW, or they can't stand AEW's doing so well. They have to. It's like no,
insecure.
If they were afraid of AEW, why would they put up a show? They're a woman's pay-per-view against the biggest show of the year. Like, why would
Tony invited this? He wanted them to compete. And now they're competing. Congratulations, Tony. You poked the dragon enough that it finally woke up, and now it's breathing fire up your ass.
Yeah.
Who wins?
And the silly thing is that there could be a trillion other things going on Saturday, July 12th. Many a concert, many an event. I mean, Evolution is not going to be Tony Khan's only competition, so he should be ready for it. And as I said on Twitter, he should already have this book he should already have this show booked and in the bag by now.
Well, he doesn't even have it sold all the way.
Yeah, I know.
Still, first of all, they're only set up for 18,000 people, but they've only sold 14,000 tickets, and it's been kind of around 14,000 tickets for the last 2 months from what I've seen. So we've been checking in on this here and there. Mm-hmm. So I mean, this show is not selling well. Who knew? It was the first All In in England was just kind of a, hey, nothing ever happens here, and now something is, so let's go do it. You're not getting 70-something thousand people on U.S. soil, and obviously this place doesn't hold 70,000 people, but they set it up for 18,758, and they're having a hard time hitting that. So 62 days to the show. Total number of seats on the map, 43,119, guys. So that is the total number of tickets that could have been sold for this.
These are Global Force Wrestling numbers, right?
Yeah.
Here.
Maybe take 3,000 away because of the entranceway and stuff like that. So really, you're looking at about you could have sold 40,000 tickets, and you have it set up for 18,000 people, not even halfway full.
Why do it at a stadium at all?
Because it's all in.
Right.
It's the biggest show of all time, Dis.
So do it at Arthur Ashe Stadium.
We have to run stadiums.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you're going to do a stadium, and why not do Arthur Ashe Stadium or another?
Because
Tennis
NJPW
stadium.
won't help pay for it.
That's
Okay.
it. And they burned Arthur Ashe to the ground. They
That's
barely
true.
killed it last time they were there.
They're about to burn Chicago. Did you see that? They're doing a residency in Chicago now. They're going to kill that.
How are they
town.
gonna? You're gonna run the guy who fired CM Punk is gonna run a residency in Chicago. That's gonna go over real well.
Guarantee it'll be taking place in theaters.
The Bucks, Omega, Tony will be booed out of every building with "You Screwed Punk" chants. I guarantee it.
Nah, bro.
You
I
know.
think they would have did that last time. They were in Chicago after
Okay.
Punk left.
Maybe
Yeah,
not.
but
I mean,
no, they don't boo them out of the arena. They just don't show up.
Yeah, that's right.
That's true.
That's right.
The crowd was
That's
like
true.
down by like 60% or something ridiculous as soon as
Right.
Punk left. You know, so-
WWF rolled into Montreal and everybody packed the seats to boo Vince and Sean
yeah,
and Hebner.
and they can't get anything. Like AEW is such a dead brand at this point. It's people have apathy for it, right? Like it's not.
What are
even-
you talking about? It's on the rise.
It's dead. It is so. It's sad. It is. I can't even. Okay, when I went to TNA a month and a half ago, there were more people talking about AEW than when I went to Backlash on Saturday. In that much time, it's gone down that far. AEW has no momentum. They have no public image. They're a dead brand, and it's only taken 6 years to get here. Think about that.
Mhm.
Like, at least like it took TNA a good decade before people were making jokes about them, but AEW is just dead. There's no momentum there. There's nothing going on. Awful. Do you think they can come back from this? You're the expert here. You're writing the book. What do you
Not so much an expert as just somebody with two eyes and common sense. You're looking at Tony Khan, who's been involved in this business only 6 years. He can't get it together, man. If he can't put down the book and give it to somebody else, this company is going the way of the dodo bird. Simple as that. Not much to say about it. You're absolutely right. There's no buzz around it. There's no juice around it. They're bad PR team. Kosher Irvy's a terrible COO. Tony Khan's a terrible promoter, and that's all there is to it. Once I think we talked about it in the back chat. They have benchmarks. It's all but confirmed that they have benchmarks.
Mole confirmed it. On Twitter, so yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think they're hitting those benchmarks, and I think that you're going to see a very desperate Tony Khan in the next 6 months. You talk about cinder blocks and hypodermic needles. I'm telling you, we're going to see AR-15s and chainsaws in the next 6 months if this keeps up.
So I said this on Twitter. When AEW first started, it was 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. And it was exciting to see the mess spill out and it not make sense. Now it's just 10 pounds of shit in a 10-pound bag, and that's boring. And they did the worst thing you could ever do, is become boring. Mm-hmm. They made hot lesbians kissing boring. They made hardcore matches boring. They made blood boring. The show is just boring.
Well, you know what? I can't believe I'm going to say this. Dave Meltzer made a decent point when he talked about how people don't consider it cool anymore because Tony Khan overexposed himself. He's going out there prancing around, and talking about Time Cop and doing the Hogan ear thing. I mean, like people are looking at him like this is the leader of our revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, say what you want about like Paul Heyman, but Paul Heyman was cool. Say what you want about Eric Bischoff, but Eric Bischoff was cool. Vince McMahon at one point was cool. Triple H
is cool.
Yeah. There's nothing cool about Tony Khan.
Triple H manages to be cool while wearing grandma glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. And Tony Khan's over there spazzing out on, after shows and doing his little bit. Meanwhile, WBD's in disarray. We've been talking about this for a long time. Now they're talking. Now they're like, they're splitting, in like the TV division is splitting off from straight up WBD or whatever.
WBD is in all kinds of disarray. They are billions in the hole. There is a civil war within WBD that we've been following. That we've had that Park Place sources have kind of confirmed to us that behind the scenes, you've got the Discovery people who know what they're doing, which is David Zaslav and his people, and you have the Warner Brothers people who have never known what they were doing, and the two sides are at odds with each other because the Warner Brothers people want to keep doing things the way they've always done them. Which, if the way I'll quote Bruce Pritchard or I'll paraphrase him, if what you were doing worked, you wouldn't have been bought.
Yep.
So,
and the only reason they got bought is because they faked all their valuification. So they cooked the books and made it seem like all of their assets were worth money. And then after they got saddled with this thing, realized that it was all worth less than zero.
Yeah. It's
Warner Brothers, 100-year-old company, isn't it? Like...
It's a 100-year-old company, but for the last 75 years of its existence, has always relied on a sugar daddy to keep it alive.
Yep.
Who are we talking about? Superman?
No, I mean like another company.
Oh, gotcha.
Angel investors.
Gotcha.
And so when that all starts falling apart, you're going to have a situation not unlike what happened with WCW when the AOL Time Warner merger happened, and all of a sudden somebody in the new regime did not want wrestling on their show. Discovery is trying to unload Warner Brothers, and they're trying to sell it off because they realize what a lemon they bought. If they sell off Warner Brothers, and by the way, a sale of Warner Brothers that will take literally years to come to pass because they're going to have to go through FCC. They're going to have to go through a whole CB. Well, as long as they don't get involved in a lawsuit with the leaders of countries, then it might go a little faster than the CBS Skydance one. But
sorry to interrupt, Marv, but if that's the case, does Warner Brothers unload its useless properties beforehand or what?
They're trying to.
Yeah, it either jettisons them before the sale to make their numbers look better, or the new people come in and they're like, "What is this crap? Why is this bleeding money? Why do we have it on the air?" When a Big Bang Theory, rerun would be be better, and then they take it off TV. Tony gets paid for the remainder of the contract, but we don't see it anymore. Like that's kind of
it's funny you mentioned the big. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's funny how the Big Bang Theory is no longer helping AEW in its endeavor to have higher ratings. Like it's almost like AEW's dragging the Big Bang Theory down. It's crazy.
Yeah, Big Bang Theory's wearing off, and AEW, even when they have a win, like AEW's second quarter hour last week was actually higher than the first quarter hour, which hasn't happened in years. That's a win. That's a big thing. And then Ricochet and the Young Bucks lost 81,000 viewers during their segment.
Wow.
81.
That's insane.
Ricochet and the Young Bucks. And Will Ospreay was in the match too. He did a promo in that segment.
That can't be right. Will Ospreay is the greatest wrestler in the world.
He was in the segment. I'm sorry, he didn't have a match, but he did a promo during the segment, and the segment lost 81,000. Like I said, Will Ospreay's tattoo finally has meaning because that's how many viewers his segment lost last Tuesday.
Burned it to the ground, bruv.
But on a side note, that tweet that you did. Highly underrated. I hate when great tweets get wasted like that.
My good ones usually get wasted.
Or stolen by
stolen.
By a heel.
I'm sorry, when you look, I wish we could have something positive to say about AEW. People are always like, you have a podcast dedicated to hating AEW. Like, no, we have a podcast about pro wrestling and they're part of pro wrestling. We're just giving our opinion here, folks. I wish I had some Awful, and I got so excited one time we were doing an AEW watch along, and Awful and I watched a really good women's match, and
Chris
we were
Statlander
like,
versus Willow Nightingale,
and we were like, this is fantastic. You were there for that?
I came in right as the match was ending. I came in. You were telling me how great it was. Yeah.
Awful and we were very when we call. If I may quote the great WW Pro, we call balls and strikes here, folks. When they do something good, we talk about how it's good, but they have not done anything good in a very long time. Right. I literally and the AEW pay-per-view, to give you some inside baseball for how the business here works. AEW pay-per-views are one of our biggest money makers for live streams, and I dread them.
Yeah, well, they're no fun to do.
It's not like it's impossible for them to do anything good. They had a great on this past Tuesday. Their main event was Samoa Joe versus Claudio, which is great. That's a great television main event. Would have loved to watch it, except what happened is the Death Riders came out, and Powerhouse Hobbs came out, and the match lasted 15 minutes, and it was over.
People nobody want to see.
Exactly.
Yeah, we also very much like Darby Allin and Brody. We loved that match. Yeah. That was fantastic.
I'll tell you another great match: Athena versus Monet. For as much as Aubrey Edwards was trying to glom her way through the goddamn thing, that was a great match.
We had a lot of good stuff. We had a lot of good stuff to say about AJ Justice AJ Justice versus what's his name over there? Who did he fight? The Costco guy match.
QT Marshall.
Yeah,
you were the only one who really liked AJ.
No, Marv liked it a lot. Marv liked it.
He was a good old school wrestler. I liked what he was doing in there. He had charisma.
Oh, that's right.
He was interesting.
This was interested in the Rizzler.
He was engaging. Yeah. No. Yeah. This is the one that has the unhealthy obsession with that overweight child.
Yeah.
Sorry, Max walked downstairs. I had to mention him.
But presented without comment. Guys, I want to be more positive. There's nothing going on there. And now, people have been like, we want the wrestling war. And then the second WWE fires back, it's look at what my new favorite wrestler, Javon Evans, did.
He's wrestling right now.
So Ricochet said that he could squash Javon Evans. And Javon Evans said something about being trained by Shawn Michaels. And Ricochet says, brother, I was learning from Shawn Michaels when you was like 12. Then went on to become multiple-time champion, as if that's an accomplishment. Let me know when you win one, little boy. And Javon Evans responds, you learned from HBK when I was 12 and became a multiple-time champion. Now you're wrestling in front of 2,000 people every week for a crackhead. Talk about an upgrade, am I right? Hashtag the young OG. And then he said, sounds like Mr. Khan isn't giving you enough attention, so you had to come for a successful ass youngin. 100. You're giving me the most views on my post, and I'm finally helping you get the most attention you've ever had in your career. All love, winky face, heart emoji.
Wow. They gave that man a bonus that weekend. I'm
pretty sure they forced him to delete these tweets, but
yeah. They stayed up for a while, but that was definitely let that one sit there for a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, take it down.
Come on, come here. Don't do that again.
Yeah. What's the impression rate again? A little bit more, and then we'll delete it.
Yeah, you know what? Remember like when Seth Rollins' ex leaked his nudes onto the internet, and we just kept doing the take it down. I took it down. Why is it back? I don't know.
It's not me. It's her. I swear.
Make it stop.
No one wants to see your D on the internet. Get your D off of the internet. I took my D off of the internet. She keeps putting my D back.
Why is the weird hair kid's dong on my Google box? Oh my gosh!
I'd like to see Ricochet versus Javon Evans on World Star. If that's possible.
For all week we were just screaming, "Take it down! I took it Oh my gosh.
I'm sitting here on my gateway PC, on my internet box, and showing me the skunk-haired boys junk. What am I paying for down there?
Well, he'd call it a dong because Vince loves dongs, remember?
Javon Evans would have won the internet had he shown that one Ricochet video. You know what I'm talking about, fellas.
Oh, yeah, I know. When he finger blasted.
Yeah, I wish I still
Finger poke of doom.
I didn't know what that was.
Yeah, when he hit the reset button. Brock no wrestle him. Brock no touch him. Brock no touch butt man.
Brock said you have stinky fingers. No, like stinky finger man.
Brock squash stinky finger man.
Right.
Oh my goodness. All right, what else do we got? You know what? I think it's time for everyone's favorite segment. You know what? We got to get to some super chats, and then we'll get to everyone's favorite segment of the week, which is not the Mone Mag, guys. There's no Mone Mag this week. She's only putting it out once a month now. So,
me and Kev just did a spiritual high five.
Yes,
I know you did. I know you did. Andre Adams for 499 says Joey Janela's brain would fall off the bone if Kev slapped him. Probably. Denver Dollface for $5 says I get Max free with my Cricket burner phone, and I still never watch AEW. Dead X Man 616 for $2. As usual, South Park's writing did wrestling better. Yes, the South Park wrestling thing was funny. John Williams for $4.99. Hulk Hogan showed on American Dad fighting for a union. That's how you know it was fake.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I American Dad, by the way, highly underrated. Liquid Fox for $2 Canadian. Stone Cold was on Dilbert as a judge. Yeah, he was.
That was awesome.
But you know, the best Stone Cold animation, I guess you can call it animation, had to have
Celebrity
been, Celebrity
Deathmatch?
Deathmatch.
Yeah.
When he was a regular commentator on there.
What was your favorite wrestling crossover into a mainstream product like that?
Nash Bridges. No, I'm kidding. What do you mean, like a wrestler making a guest shot on something?
Yeah, or yeah, something like that. Yeah.
God, I know. Roddy Piper is the maniac on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, that's the one.
I was gonna say,
maniac loves you, boys.
I was gonna say Boy Meets World, but
yeah, well,
Vader.
That too, with Vader and Jake and Sean on one of them too, and
Mick Foley.
When Mick Foley teleports into the apartment to referee if they haven't gotten to that on Pod Meets World yet, when they get to it, it's gonna break Ryder Strong's brain. Because he every episode he's like, it's too sitcom-y. I'm like, it's a sitcom.
It's a sitcom. What are you talking about?
I gotta pull it off sometime.
What about
go ahead.
Bret Hart on Mad TV? I thought that was hilarious.
Sure.
They turned it into an angle for TV.
Yeah. That's great.
There's a wonderful deleted scene that I'll pull in sometime from Always Sunny in Philadelphia during the wrestling episode where they were talking about old wrestling gimmicks, and they really misunderstood the junkyard dog gimmick.
Oh. I'm a trash man. Sorry, Cricket. Did I get you?
Also, when The Rock was the host of Saturday Night Live, I thought that the opening bit was great, awesome. Yeah. When the Big Show had the big steel chair hiding behind him, he was like, "What are you gonna do with that chair?" He was like, "Oh,
that was the worst thing that ever happened to the Big Show," because then Vince saw that he could be funny,
right?
And then made him. That was when he was doing Show Kishi and stuff like that.
Show Hogan.
Yeah.
Make me laugh, you big baby.
That X-Man 616 for $2 is it me or does Chris G look like masked Punk? Kind of. You and QBF for $1.99 says any opinions on CM Pope? I mean, he's the Pope. I don't know. I'm not going to get into a religious discussion, but I mean, I like the memes of him coming out onto the balcony to Cult of Personality while the crowd chants CM Pope.
Is that
Have you
true?
not seen those awful?
No, I've not
that?
seen that. No, I have not. Sounds hilarious though.
Hold on, let me see if I can find something. Let's see. I'm sure I can find it on. Yep, I found it. Oh no, never mind. That's not it. Come on, really, Twitter, you don't have it. Let's try Pope CM Punk. That might work. Is this it? Yep. Okay, here it is. I found it. Awful. Don't worry.
Awesome.
Hold on, we'll look at it now. And probably get copyright struck for the song, but it's only a couple seconds, so. And that's as far as I'm gonna go with it. But yes, that has been the joke since the White Smoke came out, and I am a big fan of that joke. Dead X Man 616 for $2. Ludwig Borga was in the Finnish version of AG.
American Gladiators.
Yes. The Finnish version. Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Juan
what if it was called Finnish American Gladiators?
That would be funny. Juan Alicon for $5 says, Tire Wrestling, you should watch pillow fights on ESPN 8. No, really, it's a thing. P.S. Please watch Scott Steiner on a pogo stick. That's a thing?
Uh-oh.
Scott Steiner on a pogo stick?
Oh, yeah, that is a thing. Wasn't it on TNA?
I don't know.
Was it?
It sounds like vaguely familiar. I don't know. Virginia Sharp for $5 says they need to bring back roller games. I agree. And then John Williams $4.99 says, according to my sources, All In sold flopping a jillion tickets. I'm sure. And Chef Eddie for $2 says All In is selling worse than Zegler's Avita. Yeah, apparently Rachel Zegler's Avita in London is not selling well at all. Who could have seen that coming? But Chef Eddie for $2 also says, so when is the next Headlock Headline show? I hate you people. No, I'm kidding. All right, so we're going to take a break from Super Chats there. We will get back to the rest in a little bit. But first, guys, it is time for, well, one of my favorite topics of the week. A little segment we like to call That's Dave for you. Now, our first we don't have a lot of That's Dave for you this week because Dave has kind of been a little mellow this week. But there have been a few things, of course. So the first thing comes to us from our friend Alfred Canoe of Pro Wrestling Bits, who, if you are not subscribed to on YouTube, you need to because he does amazing, funny things. So
one of the leading experts on the Oscars,
well, the leading experts on the Oscars, who I associate with all the time. They called me up. And they're like, Dave, we have to tell you about the Oscars.
Is he talking to you, Marv? Are you Dave's source?
For real.
polls voters and all that.
Grace Randolph.
That smashing.
You what?
Dijak told me.
Yeah, it's great. Dave, Grace Randolph here. The Rock's movie is going to be nominated for Oscars.
Stan Stasiak just told me the same thing.
That Smashing Machine will get 3 Oscar nominations. That Dwayne will get a nomination for Best Actor. That it will get a nomination for Best Picture. And that Emily Blunt, who plays Mark Kerr's girlfriend, will get a nomination for Best Supporting Actress.
Dwayne, my friend Dwayne will win a tie.
Dwayne. I'm telling you, The Rock recently must have just given him some kind of attaboy, gave him a high five or tousled his hair or something like that in an event, because he is just firmly embedded up The Rock's ass lately. Dwayne. First of all, no, he's not going to get nominated for an Oscar. It's not. I can't wait to watch this man attempt to do Oscar bait, because the movie is Oscar bait. but man, oh man, is he not going to be able to do it. So let's keep going.
I mean, there's been a lot of
Didn't you get a report like a month ago where you said that people who'd seen parts of it didn't think it was very good?
I am getting to the point where I like Brian Alvarez.
I've been saying it for months. Alvarez is based, dude.
Based Alvarez. Hold on. We need to do that transition one more time.
Get a nomination for Best Supporting Actress. So, I mean, there's been a lot of
Didn't you get a report like a month ago where you said that people who'd seen parts of it didn't think it was very good?
I saw a review from one person. Has only seen one review, and it was not kind. Let's just say that.
Really? What do they not like about it?
Just didn't think it was a good movie.
Like the acting, the story?
What did they not like about it? They just didn't like it.
He's an expert on movies now, but a month ago, he's
well, if I never done this, I'd be the top journalist in Hollywood right now. I'd be at all the red carpet premieres, being like, excuse me, is this the gayest thing Marvel's ever done?
Stephen A. Smith got shit on me.
Variety has tried to hire me several times, but I
tried to be SAG president, but
apparently I read the pamphlet wrong.
He
He
didn't think he was a good Mark Kerr?
I don't know. I just heard that just overall for...
You said this was a review that you saw, Dave. But you don't know what they said was bad? Yeah, because...
For a movie, it's like the one review that I saw was a pretty negative review, yeah. I did hear that, yeah, but the Oscar people are really high on this movie.
Wow.
The Oscar
people.
The
Oscar people. Oh, yeah, he popped out of a garbage can and said to me, hey, The Rock's going to win an Oscar now, scram.
I was gonna go with the Sylvester Stallone mob movie, but
oh my gosh. So now hold on. Now it's high-ranking TV executives talk to him about things like max numbers and internal rumblings about AEW, and now the Oscars people talk to him.
Who are the Oscar people? Aren't there like 180 people who vote on the Academy Awards or something like that? So they're representative.
Dave is the deciding vote. They call him up.
We put it up for a vote on WrestlingObserver.com.
It was Oscar from Men on a Mission. That's who.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what is going. That movie looks terrible.
I saw the trailer. It looked abysmal. You know what it kind of reminded me of? It kind of reminded me of the Wrestler trailer, which was actually a good movie. But I was just like, I'm looking at this trailer. It doesn't look promising.
Wrestler's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, the trailer sucked though.
Yeah,
I can't get over The Rock. I can't get over The Rock being there. Like, it reminds me of Ali with Will Smith. And that turned out to be okay. But, like, when you saw the trailer, you weren't thinking Ali. You just saw Will Smith the entire time.
But also,
right?
Will Smith is like a trained actor. Like, Will Smith is a good actor. Will Smith can play those dramatic roles, and we've seen it. The Rock is the Tooth Fairy. Yeah. He's there to raise the eyebrow, say a couple of things, punch somebody in the face, and maybe have something explode behind him. I knew this the second that Black Adam flopped. I said he's going to try to get an Oscar now. And when DC threw him out on his ass, he has just been in an absolute ego spiral, and it's very, very obvious. But hey, WWE versus Oscar Mayer people. Well, yeah, the Oscar people. It was my baloney. It's got a first name. It's OSCAR.
Practically, he's been Oscar hunting since he did that Get Shorty sequel, and they praised his They praised his
No Pain or No Gain or some mess. What was it?
Oh yeah, that's right. And then it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be. That it was supposed to be Southland Tales. Never came out. And then it was supposed to be the Mark Wahlberg one. Pain and Gain.
Oh, Pain and Gain was good.
Yeah,
though.
Pain and Gain.
Pain and Gain was a good movie.
Yeah,
I like Pain and Gain.
And then that bombed. So this is his full-throated attempt at his Oscar bait. He's been hunting this white whale for quite some time.
You know, it's a funny thing.
Not getting something that he wants. So
Yeah.
go ahead, Awful.
No, he's just. I think one of the things about Will Smith and Ali and any great actor is that when you see these guys, it's just like, oh, in the first few scenes he's Will Smith. By the end of the movie, he's Muhammad Ali. You don't get that. You don't get an impression with The Rock. From moment one to the credit scene, you're always looking at Dwayne Johnson. You're always looking at The Rock. He can never blend or meld into, unless he's an animated character like Moana. But other than that, like he's The Rock through and through. That's his problem in Hollywood. He doesn't know how to be flexible in his acting.
Well, and the thing is that he shouldn't be.
He's
right?
too fucking big.
The Rock
like,
is
physically.
The Rock is very good at doing one specific thing, and there's nothing wrong with being good at doing one specific thing.
Right.
And he can go outside, like, be cool. He was the best part about Be Cool, right? But it was just because he was playing he was being the same character, but just flamboyant. But he people want to see him give people the rock bottom, and they want to go, oh, he did the rock bottom. Like that's what people want to see when they go to a Rock movie. It's gonna bomb. I mean, that's clear, right? I don't think anyone thinks it's gonna be a hit, do they?
I mean, it's gotta be a major bomb. Like I don't know anyone who's excited about it. So
and
I don't know who wrote this thing, but I mean, that's the only thing that's gonna save this thing.
It's A24. It's A24. So is it possible that they could get Oscar nominations? Yes. But it won't be because he's great. It'll be because it's A24 and half the stuff they make gets nominated for something,
Beard says, did anyone notice the Pierre Maivia poster in the locker room on Raw last night? Rock is decorating. And then he says, calling his grandmother the first female wrestling promoter in history is also a lie. Yeah, no, seriously. Christine Jarrett would like a word. I think that Rock realized that he could rewrite history when he made Brian Gewirtz write the scripts for Young Rock. And now he was just kind of like, I could just do that with reality now.
The nerve of that fucker to think that he was actually going to run for president. Like that was actually a real
was that ever actually a thing?
Yes.
Was that ever actually a thing?
He was
like,
really trying. I think if that show The Rock had gone over, because that was the whole push, like, Rock, you're running for president. That was like the whole premise of the show. If that had gone over with the American public, he would at least had a great focus group on when to run for president and all the dumb shit. But yeah, he was really trying to angle for that.
And enough people were talking about it on like magazine news shows and stuff like that to make it seem like his people put the word out there that they're interested in seeing what, the reception would be.
Yeah.
He was definitely feeling it out.
Which is funny because he is a Hollywood guy, so they would have run him as a Democrat, obviously. But whenever WWE would go to the conventions, they would always send Mick Foley to the DNC, and Rock was always sent to the RNC.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's interesting, but I'm not going to pontificate about The Rock's political views, but more on Meltzer. So, of course, he had to get into it with his old buddy, Eric Bischoff. So as we all know, Eric Bischoff is running this new, amateur wrestling or mat wrestling, league with Hogan. And he goes, here's the wonderful thing about you being back. At the 6-year mark, if you're still around and your company is doing $100K plus for 9 pay-per-views a year and at 2 gates above $6 million and garner $500 million TV deal, you'll have proved to be as good as the guy who you spent years saying is bad at his job. Best of luck. And I'd love to see you make it because I'd love to see some of those guys make good money. All right, first of all, Eric Bischoff, for his mat wrestling show, is not going to have the overhead that AEW has. He's not going to have a Mercedes Moné eating up millions of dollars. He's got a Hulk Hogan probably eating up millions of dollars, but he's part of the team. It's you're comparing apples to oranges here. It's a completely different thing. And Eric Bischoff is not going to go out there on day one being like, we're gunning for you, UFC.
Yeah, really. USA Wrestling, watch out, brother.
Yeah, no, it's such a so apparently there was something. I'm looking at Meltzer says what has something on this that's audio. I've not listened to it yet, so we can hear it and see what exactly Big Dave was saying. So again, this is sight unseen. I don't know what this is going to be, but well, let's find out together, guys. All right, here we go. Come on. Oh, hold on, I gotta remove this thing and then I can post. Okay. Thank you, StreamYard. Here we go.
You know, it's funny because it's kind of like they go back because, you know, WCW was television for a couple of years. Another century. You know what I mean?
Why is he screaming?
Why is he screaming?
It was in another century. You know, WCW had a nice little run there. You know, they beat the WWE. That was the point. Like,
and your favorite company constantly is biting off of them and bragging about beating them. So should you really be talking about how it was a century ago?
He's constantly diminishing WCW because WCW is the actual second biggest company in the history of wrestling, and he's desperate to push this narrative that AEW is the second biggest.
I think it's even pettier. I think it's even pettier than that, Marv. I think it's because Hogan burned a copy of the Wrestling Observer newsletter on their channel.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
On WCW?
When it was NWO stuff, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Or at least I don't remember it.
Other century. And, you know, some people, you know, they're giving him a shot in this thing. And, you know, there is an irony here. There's an irony because, you know, it's Eric Bischoff and Conan both, you know, are big critics of Tony Khan.
Where is Conan coming into this? I don't know.
And both of them now have a chance to prove that they, in fact, are better than Tony Khan because they're both involved with, you know, startup television ventures. So now
didn't they already prove that they're better than Tony Khan by way of being in the business for so effing long?
Yes.
And also Conan has been like the head of a company for how long now? Has he worked with AAA?
Long time.
You know,
Long time.
It's not
Number one draw in Mexico for almost 10 years. Like, come on now.
Does Mexico not count? You know, I don't get that part.
No, only the red, white, and blue.
Except for
USA.
CMLL. Except for CMLL.
USA.
That counts.
USA. Well, yeah, no, Japan and CMLL count.
Tony Khan. You know, so I mean there is that interesting story to this. But you know, again, I think most people look at it as just, you know, they latched onto something. It probably won't last. You know, when they were talking about like their big stars, you know, they did mention Kennedy Blades, and that's a good one. She's 21 years old. She took a silver.
Gosh, he's so insufferable.
Oh my God!
Medal in the last Olympics. She's going for the World Championships this year. She just won the Nationals over the last week. But they also mentioned Ben Askren, you know, who's, you know.
I thought he was the worst part of Good Will Hunting.
Someone who I know and who's, you know, was a great wrestler in his day, one of the best in the country of the last 25 years. But his day was a long time ago. I mean, you're talking about the mid 2000s, like 2005, 2006, I think was when he won his Hodge trophies. He's 40 years old. He's had hip surgery. I mean, he's, you know, he's not, you know, when you're talking about him.
Oh my God, I can't.
We can't. On the ones without video, I'm just picturing Alvarez looking exactly like Kev looks right now.
Yeah.
Just like
this is painful.
It's I can't listen to that man talk.
Let's see. Is there anything else that we
No.
anyway, guys, that is Dave for you. All right, back to our super chat here. Denver Dollface for $2 says AEW has used up all of our good. Nobody gives them the benefit of the doubt anymore. That's the problem. It used to be, oh, come on, guys, he's trying something here. Like, you know, let him work. And now it's just okay. It doesn't work. CWJ 128 for $2 says Logan Roy, AEW is not serious, people.
I think it was CM Punk that said, "Who's going to think of the billion?" He said it sarcastically. Who's going to think of the billionaires?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you, we've been playing 2K25, and we started My Rise. They mention AEW all over that thing.
Do they?
I mean, they don't say it by name, but like the main storyline is you're coming in from another company, and then you go to CM Punk, and it's like you talk about like, oh man, it's so much better here, isn't it?
Oh no!
Are you joking?
Really?
Oh, I'm dead serious.
We need screenshots or get the fuck out.
And then you play as CM Punk over on AEW Fight Forever, and it's just like, I am in Chicago, so I'm going to eat a cheesesteak. Wait, that's Philadelphia? I mean deep dish pizza. This is really good. Okay.
Yeah, the game takes place in catering.
It's when you start playing, like Adam Pearce or one of them comes up to you and he's like, "Hey, I know you were working out that other place. And I heard it was pretty hard for you over there." And he's like, "Yeah, I don't want to talk about that." Like it's
like he was working at the junkyard.
Oh yeah. 1KQ said it. Jake Cargill talks about AEW in it too. You get a text from Jake Cargill that's like, "Hey, I haven't seen you around in a while. How you?"
Oh god, so it's definitely oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Are you all out yet?
No.
Does the crowd chant Tony fumbled when you do a good thing in the ring?
That'd be awesome.
That's DLC.
Yeah. That's funny. Oh man. Regina Sharp for 5 says next AEW special match. The ring is suspended over a pool full of sharks. Loser is thrown into the pool where the sharks nuzzle them viciously. I could see it.
Sedated sharks.
It'd be a Jericho match. Denver Dollface for $2 says Osprey no sells everything, especially tickets. Ha!
Ayo.
Right, that's a good one. That's a rib shot right there. MJG for $10 says WBD wants to spin out its dying linear TV business, Turner. Chances AEW gets retained if that happens, a 30%. Waste of money, then sunsetting new company. This isn't new, just largely ignored, except. And then MJG for $2 is also hello from the grave.
Hi, MJ.
Yeah, unlock your account, you bastard.
Yeah.
Joseph J. Alexander for $5 says all of you have a picture waiting on the Twitter right now. Okay.
Oh, God.
Yes, it was really good.
What?
I saw it. It was really good.
What is it?
Oh, I'll go back. Hold on. I don't want to ruin the surprise.
What is? Are we something we're tagged in?
Yeah. Hold on. I gotta go.
Oh God.
Yeah, hold on. I'll share it. Fantastic. Well done. I like.
Oh
it.
God.
You want a polio roid? Boom bop.
Just today.
Boom bop. Oh my goodness. MJG for $9.99 says stuck at a train crossing. Train isn't moving. Question: if Tony is so rich and doesn't need to make money, why are they slashing costs, doing redundancies and not residencies and not touring to build a fan base back? Because Shahid Khan cares about losing money, I think, because you don't become a billionaire by being willy-nilly about your money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at a certain point in time, you have to control costs.
Yeah.
Oh, God. What are you gonna say?
I was the best part about this is that being a billionaire, he had the flexibility to take the time to learn how to do this right. Because what kills everybody else is they don't have the money. So you've got to come out swinging really hard, and you can't do that right out the box because you just hot shot, and then you just kind of become a meme within a couple weeks of debuting. So he had years to build a super solid roster, years to get the production right, years to tell the story he wanted to tell, years to develop the pay-per-view strategy, years to develop the marketing strategy, years to develop the merchandise. He just squandered it on nonsense.
Said it since day one, bro. They should have had at least 3 or 4 pay-per-views before even thinking about having some sort of TV deal or even a weekly television show.
I would have done a tour.
Yeah,
Whole tour.
really something like P.T. Barnum out there. Seriously, like or the like a circus. No, they are a circus.
John Williams for 199 says Dave is praising Rock, so Rock will stay away from WWE. Now Dave wants Rock in WWE because Rock comes in and he kills everything. He makes everything worse. Regina Sharp for 5 says, I return from the Oscars, people. They said these 10 nominations. 10X Fan 616 for $2 says Hogan's filmography is better than The Rock's. I don't know, man.
All right, you've gone too far, dead man.
Yeah, I don't know if No Holds Barred and Suburban Commando are better than like Walking Tall or like Get Smart or Jumanji. I do like Jumanji.
I do like Mr. Nanny, so
I didn't hate Jungle Cruise either. I thought it was fine.
The Rock's movies are fine. The Rock's movies, all of them are fine. The
Rock is not supposed to become a sensitive artiste. The Rock is meant to be the new Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like Arnold never went out there and started doing or not that I remember doing Oscar bait. If he did, it was probably cringy as all heck.
What about Twins and Kindergarten Cop?
But what is happening right now?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I went to get water and I hit the wrong button because the problem is The Rock didn't deliver on his promise of becoming Arnold's replacement. He went and did a bunch of kiddie movies and is grifting off of Vin Diesel.
Well, yeah, he went that Disney money got flashed in front of him, and he jumped wholeheartedly into being the family friendly guy. Being the kids movie actor, and that was when he had to come back to WWE again to beat John Cena and get his toughness back, so to speak.
Isn't it kind of funny because Vin Diesel started as a serious actor, moved into being an action star, and never went back to try to get that Oscar.
Yeah.
So really, Vin Diesel is more of the new Arnold Schwarzenegger by far than The Rock is.
Vin Diesel is the new Stallone. Because he can act.
Okay. He can't act. He can't act.
But
Tom Cruise is the new Sylvester Stallone.
No, you've gone too far.
No,
Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is the last movie star on Earth. But was it Vin Diesel? Kevin Smith told the story about Vin Diesel, like rehearsing for Iron Giant, and he's literally sitting there like brow furrowed in concentration, like reading from a script going, Rock tree. Like it was the most important thing he's ever said in his life. So
I want them to show Vin Diesel's Lord of the Rings audition tape where it's him around the massive bonfire and he's reading passages from the book.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? He could have pulled it off. He could have pulled it off.
You know what would make me really, really happy? If during the filming of The Wrecking Machine, like Rock got all method like Jim Carrey during Man in the Moon, and he made people call him Mark Kerr. But he still acted exactly like The Rock.
Mark Kerr says, well, hold on.
Mark Kerr says, know your damn role. And finally, Mark Kern has come back to catering.
He's never said that. It's not something he would say.
You want to give Mark Kern a piece of that poontang pie?
What's his name again, Marv?
Mark Kerr.
There you go.
Did I say it wrong?
You were saying Mark Kern, the brother of Steve Kern.
Yeah. I was adding an N to the end of it. It's because I'm congested.
Or racist, one of the two.
Andre Adams for $4.99 says Meltzer is a 60-year-old fanboy. What the F is he talking about? Nobody knows.
Isn't that something? Yeah. Nobody ever disparages his age.
The man is a professional writer. That is his job, to write, to express thoughts clearly through the written English language, and he's terrible at it. He's one of the worst. It's not just when he talks, because he can't understand the string of consciousness words that come out of him either when he writes.
Meltzer is the only person on earth who's ever gotten CTE vicariously through the people he's covered.
It took this a half hour to write that.
No. You ripped that off from somewhere. I
No,
know
I
I've
didn't.
seen that before.
I did
You
not.
ripped that. I'm
I
100% sure you ripped that
Dude,
off.
I look at my tweets. I could go if I get a second.
Go back to
think.
all the roasts in the world and see where he got that from.
If I get a second to think, I can do it. It just
All right, if that was your joke, then that was a good joke.
Thank you.
He's good for one a month.
I had the Will Ospreay one too. Give me a break.
Okay, all right, 2 a month.
MJG for $4.99 says, under discussed, but how much has sicko culture created a stay away perception for AEW live events? The thought of being around sickos, no thanks. I mean, yeah, I could imagine lots of people are turned off by the idea of going to those shows, right?
Yeah.
You know,
I like MJG, but I think it's bad marketing that keeps people away from AEW live events. It has nothing to do with the smell of the sicko in there.
well, I think that if you, let's say you go on, you go on Twitter and you're like really excited to go to my first AEW show when they come to town. Oh, but I saw this guy and I'm not really familiar with him, and then you have 50 sickos bombarding your tweet being like, you need to do your homework. Like,
True.
No,
it's
literally
going to make
happened
you
to me.
not want to go.
No, it wasn't the exact same thing. But when I said when I was watching AEW and I went on and I was like, hey, I'm thinking about going to an AEW show. I want to bring my kid with me. Are they doing the sensory rooms and stuff like that? I was told that kids ruin the vibe and I shouldn't come and I shouldn't bring him because I wanted to bring a kid.
Bring young fans.
Again, we have that TikTok where the guy stops the girl on the street and she says, "Wrestling people who like wrestling give her the ick." Not people who watch real wrestling, people who watch AEW.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. It's done. Finite.
John Williams to 199 says Vin Diesel wanted to play Black Bolt. He actually would have been a good Black Bolt.
He would have been a Black Bolt. He was promised Black Bolt. That's why he took
Groot.
That's why he took Groot.
Well, he didn't get it. Regina Sharp for $5 says, just want to say Vin Diesel is a geek. It's why he's done and wanted to do certain roles over the years. Yeah, absolutely. And he takes it seriously. Regina Sharp for $5 says, Dis follows the machine gun theory of comedy. If you tell enough jokes, one of them will land on target. You're the Robin Williams of your time, Dis. One good one for every 10. Oh.
I got nothing left. I'm out.
Yeah, no, you're on empty after that CTE joke. All right, so
I'm sending you the meme with the girl.
Oh, okay.
For people who haven't seen what we're talking about.
While we're waiting for that, hey, 2 weeks from Sunday, we have an AEW pay-per-view.
We
will be
do.
hanging out. Yeah, I will be watching that with you guys.
Yes, we will be there, guys. We will be there with you, suffering.
I didn't check if it's the full one, so
okay. Let's see.
The biggest ick.
People like wrestling.
People liking wrestling. Or WWE.
No, AEW.
What's AEW? Is it like?
Oh, it's like weird wrestling, like adult wrestling. Okay. It's just like an advanced.
I know it's literally the same as WWE. I guess maybe AEW is a bit more robust and a bit more, a bit less PG. But come on, it's still wrestling.
The biggest ick.
All right, so we had some guy reacting to her, but
KSI.
Yes, the sentiment is still there.
I thought that was Carly Cameron.
No, that was KSI, who has appeared in. The woman. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the woman, you maniac.
Oh, wait, Denver Dollface saying, it had to happen at some point this week, guys, because somebody mentions this literally every week at somewhere in the wrestling fandom space that AEW scared off poor Cat Dennings.
They need to be reminded
So true.
over and over again.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing that it keeps getting brought up, because it needs to be brought up the way these losers bombarded that poor girl. Oh, she hasn't left her house for an acting gig since, and she has never been seen again.
I posed a theory to Dis about the AEW fan in the back chat about a couple of days ago. He totally agreed with me. It's too racy to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Here publicly.
All right. Well,
but,
tell me later.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
There are some
We have we do have a pallet. Oh, Dead X Man for $2. That's Tony Atlas. Let's see. We have a palate cleanser here, I believe. This a little video to go through. This is from Beard. Yep, we always love Beard's videos that he gives us. So let's take what are we looking at right now?
Wrestling
Bruce
without
you don't
context.
remember this?
That's Bruce.
No.
No, I didn't start watching wrestling until like like the late 90s.
Whoa, really? Okay.
So I started watching in 97, I think, or 98, and then I went back and just obsessively consumed content. So
yeah,
Nick and Matt Jackson with Marvin Movie Monster, the Young Bucks.
That is Bruce Pritchard as Rio Rogers.
Okay.
They wanted a Dusty Rhodes parody. So
oh god.
Oh, okay. That makes digging at the hearts, of course.
No, they're at Brett's mom's
Don't
house.
worry it.
Sorry. I didn't know that was a spoiler.
God. Can I just ask, what was Vince's obsession with sticking it to Dusty? Like, what did Dusty ever do to him?
Not sell, challenge him. I mean, he was his one competitor. He was the one guy who stuck around and didn't just give up.
In Dusty's autobiography is amazing because, like, he makes outlandish claims that are not even a little bit true. Like, he claimed that Vince Sr. Called him on his deathbed, being like, "You gotta stop him, Dream. You're the only one who can." About Vince killing the territories. Meanwhile, Vince's dad worked for Vince for years while he was killing the territories. What is that not Helen?
No, it's not. It's not.
You can't see; it's blurry. So
yeah, really.
Is that Pat witch mask?
This whole thing was filmed on glaucoma vision.
Seriously.
It's like
this
93.
This has to be this has got to be ripped from my VHS that was a TV recording.
I had that Bret Hart poster. I had that poster.
What is Stu Hart in a wheelchair petting something?
He's petting a stuffed animal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it was one of the young boys that he would bring down to the dungeon and stretch.
Rio Rogers brought that whole thing down. Yeah, he served no legitimate purpose being in that video.
He does a great Dusty impression.
He really
does.
does.
For about 4 seconds, and then you get tired of it.
Yeah, but that's kind of like Dusty, right? I mean, if Dusty talks too long.
Oh no! You silence yourself, Dis. I mean, I'm riveted when Dusty Rhodes talks. I'm not riveted when people talk as him, but I was riveted when Dusty. I got to see a Dusty promo in person one time.
I think I'm thinking more from Dusty of this, like Dusty commentary, that kind of Dusty.
Dusty commentary never got old. I
really
love Dusty commentary.
At least back in the day, I haven't gone back and listened too much, but I couldn't take Dusty on commentary, dude. He was just too much.
He's getting some plunder. He's going for some plunder, baby.
Going to the pay window.
Which I thought was an actual thing.
I did like. Do you know what I did like though? Do you remember the WCW all nighters they used to do with like Dusty and Bobby the Brain Heenan and those guys? I could watch that over and over again.
Let's see. Dead X Man 616 for $2 says, "What's worse, Bruce's Rio or Oklahoma?" Oklahoma. Well, yeah, no. Bruce is doing an impression of Dusty. That's not mean. It's not like mean spirited. Like Oklahoma was mean spirited. It was terrible. Last Call podcast for $5. Dusty did 3 things to piss off Vince: turned Vince down, left WWE and helped WCW beat Vince, and he was a Southern boy and Vince hated the South. Yeah, that's pretty true. John Williams 499 says Dusty turned Vince down, worked for his direct competitor. So did Vince want to strap the rocket to Dusty and bring him in when he was doing everything, like after the Billy Graham matches?
No, he just knew the cachet of what Dusty Rhodes brought to the competition.
Well, yeah, once Dusty kind of wrapped up the original contract, Vince wanted him to stay and Dusty wanted to go. And he said, "But look at all the action figures we have. You're going to make more money here just off of the toys than you'd ever do down there." And Dusty's like, nah, I'm gonna leave anyway.
And the story goes that he was supposed to be Hogan, right? That's the lore. I don't know how true that is, but
he was supposed to be Hogan. Tony Atlas was supposed to be Hogan. Chief Jay Strongbow was supposed to be Hogan.
Right. That's
Chief
what
of
I'm saying,
Mania.
Yeah, I don't believe Dusty would have been too old for Vince at that point.
Yeah,
I don't see that happening. But...
Well, and Vince likes the bodybuilders. Vince likes muscles. Vince likes big jack dudes. Dusty would have never been his first
Vince loved Dusty, but I don't think.
Yeah,
I couldn't see it. I don't see it.
All right, guys. Well, that's about all I've got for this week. Thank you to everybody who joined us, everybody who chatted, everyone who super chatted, everyone who stopped by and just didn't say anything. We appreciate every single one of you. Huge thanks to AEW Neckbeards, mod extraordinaire, wise man of this podcast for keeping you guys company there in the chat tonight. We could not do this show without him, and we love him very dearly. Awful Wrestling, you've got a YouTube channel. Why don't you tell the fine folks about what you're up to?
Sure, it's on youtube.com/awful wrestling. You can check out some videos when they come up. And also here on Tooney Talk Wrestling every Tuesday at 8 p.m. and also on Twitter at AEW FUL Wrestling.
Awesome. Dis, what are you up to?
You can head over to tooney.dis.lol. That is our Discord channel. I like to hang out over there on Mondays and Fridays specifically. We watch SmackDown and Raw, so you can chill out with us. Also, like I said, in a couple weeks, not this Sunday, but next Sunday, we're going to be doing the AEW pay-per-view. I think we should plug that. You can follow me at AEW Disciplinary. Max's Summer's coming up, and we're planning on getting back on Maxed Out Media. So if you want to go there, MAXXD Out Media. It is a summer project that I do with him, and we might have some shorts or some other videos coming up there, and might do something with Awful here in the next few weeks. We'll see. So we got stuff going on. That's it.
Kevin Apollo, anything you want to plug or anything you're up to? Pro show tomorrow night.
Yeah, pro show tomorrow night. And I'll be here on Thursday. Other than that, I'm around. I'm here. I do stuff.
Kev always has to be prodded to plug.
Oh my goodness. And guys, for me, just make sure you're checking out thatparkplace.com. Become a VIP member to get exclusive articles every single day, or just read for free on the news that we have up there. We one exclusive article a day for VIP members, only $5 a month, and you get a cool red theme for That Park Place homepage. But yeah, we're covering all things movies and TV and video games and theme parks, and it is a major awesome place where we try to tell the truth at all times. Well, we do tell the truth at all times, but we try to get it out there to all of you guys, to the masses. Thatparkplace.com. Make sure you're checking out Tooney Talk TV on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. over on Tooney Town TV, our sister channel here on the Tooney Town networks. And we'll see you then, 8 p.m. Myself, Kevin, Trish, Martin Stone, Nolan Thunder, Lauren Connor. We're going to be bringing you guys all of the pop culture news of the week. So thank you guys for joining us this and every week. From all of us here at the Tooney Town channels, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here! Now, Perry the Platypus, feel the wrath of my thank you-inator!
Thank you, you piece of trash.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you! Oh, I suppose you want me to say thank you. Well, you know what? Saying thank you is like jobbing. Thank you! I got a little message. Thank you. Ooh, yeah!
Oh, thank you! Oh, thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you!
Thanks? For what?
Hi-ho from all of us here at Tooney Town. Thank you!
And viewers like you. Thank you.